It's a multitude.
I think it's very clear, and we knew this going into this game in particular. Their margin of error when you don't have Worthy and Rice is so slim. It is like pulling teeth to get a yard. They have to fight so hard just to get a yard. Time and time again, they struggled to get a yard last year. And it's the same thing to this point in time now heading into week 3 of the season, where it really is such an effort that is required to get a first down with this offense. And they're down their top 1 and 2 weapons in the offense. And then you have had, I think, Cody, too many of your leaders, key cogs of this football team make crucial mistakes.
Correct.
That have led to, if not costed you, plain and simple, a football game. It was Chris Jones last week on a critical 3rd and 14.
Travis Kelce.
Last week, Travis Kelce, unfortunately, it's his words, not mine. He caused a potential injury, obviously, there for Xavier Worthy. And then we all know on this one, a pass he has to catch, and he catches 90% of the time his NFL career, that then gets, bopped up in the air and leads to an interception the other way that just killed all momentum and really, at that point, ended the game as far as I'm concerned.
What's crazy, if he catches that ball, I definitively think they're winning that football game. Not just the win percentage, which we'll get into the Travis Kelce part of it just a little bit here in a bit, but yeah. I mean, the game, look, very simply put, it's like, why are they losing? All right. We're going to need a minute. Because the answer is, offensively, they're still lost. And I'll just, this is not a knock on Patrick Mahomes, and I understand why they internally have to think this. This might be 14 straight months of me having to hear, oh, we're close. Oh, we're so close. 1 or 2 more plays. I'm like, get out of here. You had 10 points. You'd have gotten 17 if you got the touchdown with the Travis Kelce. You finished with 17 after you missed. You're not close. You haven't been close on offense for over a year. You haven't been close on offense since 2024, 3. It's been a while. So, I don't want to hear that part of the excuse making anymore until it's, actually close to looking like a functional offense.
And that's not going to happen, though, until Rice and Worthy are back, though.
It's not. This game was all about, I would have come in here today, even as ugly as that game was, had they managed to win that game, which I think they do if Travis Kelce makes that catch. Had they managed to win that game, Gold, I'd have come in here and said what we were talking about on Friday. Just win. I don't care how it looks right now. I don't care how ugly it is. I feel the same way about the Giants. I don't care if it's 10-9 Sunday night. Just find a way to get a win and get on the board is what we're having a conversation about. As far as their issues go, I think the biggest problem is Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. Their highest paid players are the ones performing the worst. It's kind of like how we talked about with the Royals when it was Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi. Before I get to the ancillary players, Chris Jones, Karloff, any of those guys, they got to come through first. And in the first 2 games, those guys have made more mistakes than normal. They're not bad players, but they've made more mistakes than normal.
Yeah, when you are up against it with some bad injury luck, and obviously one is an issue with a suspension that you knew all offseason was going to eventually have to be paid off, if you will. And now they're paying for it with the Rashee Rice suspension. They're only 2 games into the 6-game suspension. You had a brutal start to the schedule, scheduling-wise, with the Eagles and the Chargers, and you maybe get a break with the Giants, hopefully, before it gets really tough again with the Ravens and a Lions team right around the corner. And the Lions sure step back up and offensively look great again after a bad Week 1 performance against what turns out probably a pretty good Packers team.
I'd be more about the Packers defense than the other 2 teams'
But
offense.
you just specifically to the offense, and we're going to get into the defense here in about 25 minutes, who obviously looked a lot better in the way they performed. But this offense, it is truly just such a grind to get any yards, and it's like it is just so frustrating to watch. And so when you finally have that drive going, man, you cannot have, last week it was the crucial holding penalty or a false start penalty. This week it was the Kelce interception. I basically, it's not a Mahomes interception as far as I'm concerned. It's a Kelce interception that you have. You just cannot overcome that. When they were down with 7 or 8 minutes to go, a couple years ago, you would have said, "Oh, plenty of time, Mahomes magic, all that." Now you're at a point where you know the game is over with the way this offense is currently constructed. Now it's not the finished product. I know you said you're tired of hearing they're close, and I'm with you. I get it.
They've been saying that for a long time.
I understand that, but they're down their number 1 and number 2 options. So acting like it's the same thing right now, I would disagree with that. Let's see what it looks like at that point in time. But you still aren't going to have either of those guys for a couple more weeks. Maybe you get Worthy back on Sunday against the Giants, but you're not having both of them until middle or late October due to the suspension. So this is what it is, and you were hoping to see a better offensive adjustment, and it didn't exist. The running game was non-existent again, and their seemingly more successful runner right now is Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, and I didn't even like the way he ran in the first game. And some of that could come back to the offensive line. I don't think there's just like some large gaps in space that is making it super easy to navigate outside of that. But yeah, I mean, offensively, it's like, you know what? A lot of it is last year they were clearly good enough or in a position enough that they could flounder a little bit in some of these games against playoff teams and it not affect them. This year they can't. This year they can't. They can't mess around with these playoff teams and make more mistakes than the other. Because the truth is, they win that football game if they don't throw the interception. Because, and again, I don't think that one's on Travis or on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I know he took some heat for it after the game. He said, "Oh, if I put it more in his body, whatever." Like it hit his hands. He's a Hall of Famer.
Has to be caught.
No, I don't care if his head was coming around. Like I don't care. That ball has to be caught. That one's on Travis. But a lot of it is just they can't afford those minor mistakes and to recover, and so they're stuck in the spot. And look, it's like I would put these on 2 different meters. If I asked you, Gold, panic meter and concern meter, to me, those are different. Panic is like, I'm worried they're not making the playoffs. This team's falling off a cliff. That meter is still relatively low for me. It's like a 3. Concern meter for some of the issues they're showing is in the pass rush is still having issues. They're not running the ball well. They do not have the horses right now on offense in order to have a functional offense regularly. And one of the biggest things I have in the concern meter is Andy stopped creating or is done trying to create until he has his weapons. This offense looks identical to last year's offense, which I also didn't enjoy. It doesn't look like a bad version of a different offense. It looks identical to the way you tried to win on offense last year. And at this point in Andy Reid's career, that's the antithesis of what he has been as a head coach. So that part is like weird to me. Why haven't you?
Yeah, they haven't been able to scheme anything up.
Else?
They haven't been able to scheme anything up. Now, I'll say it for the 3rd time already. We're only 9 minutes in the show. They're down Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. This is what the offense is when you don't have 2 of your top playmakers and your tight end, who is supposed to be maybe your 3rd best playmaker, is hurting you more than helping you. I understand he had a touchdown last week. That was a play that actually they did scheme up pretty nicely to get Travis Kelce wide open a week ago. But yeah, this is where they're at as an offense. And it's weird you were asking, the panic and concern meter, because last week I said I was more concerned about the defense coming out of the game than the offense. You can call me crazy after an 0-2 start. I feel better today about the football team long term than I did a week ago because I saw improvement from the defense.
Oh, you saw a unit improve? Yeah.
Last week I told you defensively that was my number 1 concern because the offense we know is going to be, frankly, bad until Rice and Worthy come back to see if they can improve. The offense is not going to really get much better until they have both those guys available. That's just the reality as far as I'm concerned. But could the defense improve enough to help out the offense? The defense did their job yesterday. Defense did their job. Mm-hmm. They gave them a chance to win the football game. Everything. I mean, Jalen Hurts had 101 yards passing. Saquon had 88 yards or so, but he didn't break off a big 30. He didn't break off a big 30-yard gut-wrenching run or anything like that. Devonta Smith had a great catch against McDuffie, but it still took him going back on an underthrown football and making a one-handed grab, essentially.
And by the way, you got the matchup you wanted in that. So Spags hit the house, and you got a one-on-one with your best corner. You'll take that every time.
So, yeah, they have to start winning football games, and they have to have zero margin. They have to have 0 errors on offense because there is no margin of error there. But defensively, I actually think they made some improvement. We'll talk about still the unfortunate reality, which is unless Spags is on it, dialing up blitzes, they can't get pressure. In this game, they were able to do it with blitzes, and so Jalen Hurts was getting the ball out so quick, the quickest in his NFL career, as a matter of fact. So you weren't asking your secondary guys to be out on an island all that long.
There was a couple times you said back on the coverage was great.
And that plan worked. So I feel better about the defense. I feel worse about the running back group than I ever have. Offensively, though, I don't feel any worse because this is what the offense is going to be until Rice and Worthy are back.
Look, there's a chance, and we can talk more about Worthy as the week goes on. There's a pretty decent chance, I think, that Xavier Worthy will be back on the field this week. And if it looks like he's practicing a bunch, we'll talk about his potential impact. I'm to understand that Worthy was expecting a pretty good chance to play on Sunday. Unfortunately, because the Chiefs wanted to take it a week with the injury, he didn't, which means I think there's a really good chance he's playing for the Chiefs on Sunday, a player that they desperately need.
Yeah.
Look, you can take the small things out of it. Maybe once they have some other guys to throw to, the Tyquan Thornton deep ball is a thing that sticks around from this version of the offense. What has been surprising to me in this 0-2 start, before we talk about the story that eventually became a big story in the Tush push, the thing that has surprised me the most, though, Gold, is the lack of composure for one of the greatest dynasties in NFL history. Jones is losing it on the sideline or is yelling at Hurts at the end of the game, and we can get to that later. Kelce, after they score a touchdown, is saying, I'm sick of this S. Like, it seems like a team lacking a certain amount of composure out of their stars or accountability. I think it's kind of lame when you're not available to talk after the game for stuff like this. But it's like, it seems like they're showing some cracks emotionally, which is weird because this team has been through the gauntlet a bunch. And maybe just one win cures that ill. And if they beat the Giants on Sunday, emotions will stabilize and they'll have a little bounce. They do seem a little out of control emotionally, which is surprising to me because, again, this is a team that has seen everything, seen it all, been through it all. So they shouldn't be showing signs of like that, I guess, considering where they are.
Kelce in particular, you know, I know we saw it in the Super Bowl 2 years ago when they won that Super Bowl. Obviously, that was the whole like shoving Andy thing or whatever, and that obviously they won, so it never became anything because they won the football game. You know how this stuff goes, Cody. If you win the games and stuff like that happens, nobody cares. Not a big deal.
Don't even talk about that, Travis Kelce.
But when you lose games, that stuff stands out far more, and you start to question it a little bit. I don't think even with the sideline reaction that Kelce had and Chris Jones towards the end of the game, I don't think there are players in there, at least the ones that we're talking about here, vets. I don't think they're panicking. If that's what I don't know if that's what you were like alluding to. I don't think they're panicking, but the frustration, it's very evident. They're wearing the frustration quite a bit,
outward.
Right?
They're showing it.
Yeah, that has definitely happened. I don't think it's panic as much as it is clearly frustration has set in there. And look, you're an 0-2 football team. As we say, it's uncharted territory. A lot of those guys, anybody, just about everybody. About everybody.
Maybe was Christians around at 14? I don't think so.
Is he the only one?
Playing 11 years ago. Travis Kelce might be the only one who was around.
That's it.
For an 0-2 start.
Andy Reid, Kelce, and that is
James Winchester.
Is he even part of that? I'm alluding to who else has been part of an 0-2 start. Even.
The only other possible answer
it's kind of crazy.
Hold on, I want to look up now if James Winchester.
I'll let you look that up.
Let James Winchester talk to the team this year about how they overcame that 0-2 start.
I'll let you
made
look
the
that
playoffs. Yes, he was on the missed it by a year. Sorry. 2015. Okay. Missed it by a year. So just Travis Kelce and Andy Reid.
By the way, 1 hour from now, we don't usually take calls, but we will open up the phones. If you've got something to get off your chest, about an hour from now, we will take calls, 913-586-7965. Get the pulse of the fans a little bit and how you guys are feeling after yesterday's game. Also, if you were out at Arrowhead, what you made just of the atmosphere there. We are going to talk about the PA announcer switch and what we had some people send me videos of the third down calls and stuff. We will get to that, I promise.
Might have been onto something.
A little bit later on. Yes, people weren't a huge fan
of Dale Carter.
Different. Not the corner, the PA announcer or former PA announcer. But there's no secret. The other huge talking point, and probably more so even nationally all week long, is going to be about the tush push. And let me preface this before we get into it. This is not sour grape stuff. Okay, the Chiefs did not lose because the tush push exists. Okay,
two things can be true at the same time. We are not blaming the rest of the loss. The Chiefs did that all on their own.
Their offense is not good enough. We already talked about the Kelce issue and all of that. But the tush push almost got banned this past offseason. And now after yesterday's game and seeing the national discourse, this thing is done after this year. It's not happening again. The fact that it is becoming so obvious finally to people that the guards on the tush push are clearly moving forward before the ball is snapped, and the refs either can't see it because of the alignment or refuse to call penalties, this thing's going to get banned. Some of you were not anti-tush push. You said, hey, it's a play that the Eagles run really well. Why are we banning a play? That was the argument so many people have. And I understand that argument. There's some that say, hey, it's just a boring play. Get rid of it. That's kind of where I'm at. And I understand why that's a slippery.
You didn't mind it from a competitive end. You just liked it because it's boring.
But if you're going to allow the play, you still have to call fouls that occur on the play, as in false starts. And that's the problem with this whole thing, Cody, is it seemed pretty obvious yesterday at least three times. The left guard, sometimes both, the right guard and the left guard, we're moving forward. I don't know, a half second, whatever. I don't know the exact, slow-mo makes it seem like it was way early. It's probably not as early as it seemed, but they're moving early on these tush pushes.
Or lined up off sides, and both teams seem like they're fully in the neutral zone, which creates this whole issue. Look, after the first one, Gold, not the other two that you're discussing, you and I keep a live accounting of the game so that we can have things to talk about in the show. After the first one, I typed in, the thing I don't like about it is that it's just not officiated the same as any other play. That's why you have to get rid of it. It is officiated different than any other play in the NFL. They essentially have decided it is penaltyless. People are incapable of false starting, incapable of lining up offsides, and then on the final play of the game, because it's so crowded, you can't even see if something happened. So we can't even tell if Drew Tranquill actually got the football or not, which he very well might have. I don't know. Because you can't see it.
Yeah, you can't spot the ball. You can't tell if there's fumbles. You can't see if there's penalties. How can you have that play around?
That's the issue. The issue is less about the competitive advantage that the Eagles get in getting it. And I'll be honest, the Chiefs are better than any team in the NFL at guarding it. They ran that play 7 times, which was almost 12% of their offense yesterday. And the Chiefs stopped it 3. The Chiefs are actually better than almost any team in the NFL at stopping that play. If you can't officiate it, and you heard it from Dean Blandino at the end of the game, if you can't officiate it, then you have to get rid of it.
Yeah, this was Blandino on the Fox broadcast yesterday.
I am done with the tush push, guys. It's a hard play to officiate like we've been talking about. So they either ruled progress or that Hurts was down. Really hard to see what's happening with the football. We're inside 2, so replay has looked at this, and they've determined that there was no fumble.
The fact that you now finally have, and I know Dean Blandino doesn't work for the NFL anymore, but he used to be the head of officiating for the NFL. We've had him on this show. He's been on the station numerous times. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up on this station at some point this week again, or Mike Pereira.
He might be on Carrington's show today.
Honestly, I don't know. That's their show. It wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, the fact that he's saying it that strongly, and you see what the national narrative is finally catching up. And it was very close to getting banned anyway last year. This thing is done. This will be the last year. I'm confident saying that today. Yes. On September 15th, 2025, the tush push will be done by the end of this season. It'll be gone. They will ban it in the offseason. It'll be over. And this game will be the game why.
No impassioned speech from Jason Kelce or Jeffrey Lurie is saving it this time. It really is. It is getting, I don't know if anyone's been paying attention, because you know how it is. When I was a younger sports fan, I was like 15 or 16, I would never turn on any national, like no Sports Center that day. If your team, had
after
a tough
the loss.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So like maybe you've been avoiding it. Maybe you handle it that way now. I'm just telling you right now, it is getting the full Jawan Taylor treatment. Remember when we blamed Chris Collinsworth for pointing out something Jawan Taylor was doing and essentially ruining any chance he has and not having a false start? Adam Schefter today on ESPN said, the Chiefs lost not today, but in March when they didn't ban the tush push. That was a sentence from Adam Schefter today.
Yeah, it's over.
And they were deleted. They were copyright people video of the guy false starting so that there's not evidence of it out there. It died. It died today. And again, I'm not saying that the biggest reason the Chiefs lost is why. But you have to admit.
It's part of the equation, though.
They were on the 1/2 yard line, committed a false start on a 3rd down, and then got a touchdown. If it's 3rd and goal from the 5, they very well might still score a touchdown. Pretty good chance the Eagles are a good football team. But also, it's not a guarantee like it is in the tush push in the situation before. And so, again, I don't think that's the biggest reason they lost or even really a reason at all. But it is, if you can't referee it, if the head of officiating is saying there's nothing they can do about it, then get rid of it.
Yeah, look, if you're an Eagles fan, you're saying, sour grapes and all this. You guys should enjoy it the rest of the season, and you should puff your chest out, and it's a huge advantage, and it's helped you win Super Bowls, and it might help you get back to one again this year. I'm just saying this will be the last year the Eagles will have that play to their advantage. Now, Chris Jones, he did speak after the game at the podium, actually, about the tush push and the calls or lack thereof.
Sometimes can't get them all the calls right. And just because we see it, sometimes the official is 15, 20 feet away. Sometimes it can miss those small things. And we think he jumped multiple times. So an official didn't see it, so it wasn't called. And, we just got to go play the next down.
Much calmer way of time. Obviously, Chris Jones was not happy about it. He was at the podium, not wanting to get fined or anything like that. But, yeah, the team clearly felt that there was multiple false starts. And they also,
and they were right, by the way.
In a later clip too, Chris Jones, they truly felt like they got a fumble too. Now that I have no idea. None of us could see it. Those guys under a pile and everything. They honestly felt like they forced a fumble. That one's a little bit tougher for us to even discuss because, again, you can't see anything.
He had the ball at the end, but they might have had
play.
the ball at the same time when Jalen Hurts was on the ground. I can't tell, but that goes back to the officiating of the play. Is that it creates a chaos environment that does not allow for proper refereeing of the game. Now, look, I'll say at the same time, the Chiefs failed that 4th and 1 earlier in the game, and then they got the one later in the game. Andy, it's just run a quarterback sneak. I'm tired.
I know it.
I'm sorry. It's a stupid excuse that he got hurt the one time a billion years ago. It is a play everyone in the NFL runs all the time and nobody gets hurt. It's enough. You have stunk for 3 years in a row on short yardage situations in which you could have just shoved Patrick Mahomes through, not even a tush push, just a regular ass QB sneak like Josh Allen runs. It's enough already. You had your time in the sun where you put it off of the playbook because you were worried about your guy. He's healthy. He's fine. Just run a QB sneak. It's fine. Trust me, it will be okay. It's playing scared because of one injury, one time.
It looks sillier now because we've now seen 2 games in a row where Mahomes has lowered his shoulder and risked an injury by doing that on a run. He led the team in rushing again in 2 straight. I believe he just had a career high in rushing yards yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, for a regular season game. So the fact that he's risking himself there, and on one of them, it looked like it might even have been a designed run. I don't know if we got confirmation on that, but yet the QB sneak because of a very fluke injury. I think we've had this discussion for years now, though, Cody. It's very clear. As long as Andy Reid is the head coach, they're not running that QB sneak. It's just not happening. So that's what my anger and frustration with it is so low now compared to what it is because we've just, it's very clear. It's been 4 years, it's been 5 years since that play happened, hasn't it?
Yes.
So they're not going to do it. But I'm with you. If he's going to run and lower his shoulder anyway, that's an injury risk play as well. If you're going to struggle on short yardage at this point in time, as much as the Kansas City Chiefs have over the last couple of years, you've got to find a play that works. They're not even trying to do the old belldozer anymore. He's on the team. No. You get my point. They're not even trying to do that anymore in short yardage.
It's so silly. There was a while after they got rid of the tush, after they got rid of the QB sneak, that they were running speed option plays with Patrick Mahomes. Like, are you crazy?
I told you.
There's just no way that this is more at risk than the easiest play on the planet.
I told you 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and not 2 years ago, who was it? Chad Henne would have been the backup then. Last year was Carson Wentz. This year it's Gardner Minshew. I'm serious. And
fine, just run it with Gardner.
Right. Sure. And don't give me this like, oh, well, they'll know you're doing it.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. It would still work. Have Gardner Minshew come in on a 4th and 1. And I know normally don't take the best quarterback in the league out of a play on the if you're doing a QB sneak, make the team prove they can stop you. If it's truly an injury risk thing, can Gardner Minshew not get some reps with Creed Humphrey under center during the week? Just a few. Just a few for a QB sneak. He's a veteran. How many times did Gardner Minshew do QB sneaks with Jacksonville? I bet you, or the Raiders last year. My guess is he's done it a few times. That's the move. Even if you're like, hey, we don't want to risk the Mahomes injury. Bring in your backup quarterback for 1 play, 2 plays a game on a 4th and 1 because you have not shown that Carson Steele or Pacheco or Hunt are capable on a consistent enough basis, or your offensive line for that matter, to get a freaking yard on 4th and 1.
The truth is that the way that this works anyway, and the whole setup for the rest of this anyway, is, oh, no, you're taking it out of his hands. You do that when you just hand it to the running back on 4th and 1 anyway. You've already taken it out of the hands of Mahomes, so you're already screwed.
Monday's football coverage is presented by Busey Bank, where they're focused on your success. At Busey Bank, they've been building businesses and growing wealth since 1868. Learn more at BuseyBank.com. Up next, we will talk about the defense, which was a lot better, but there is still one glaring issue with them. And a big shift for the rest of the NFL season happened yesterday outside of Kansas City.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Creed Humphrey. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
There's somebody out there that about 4 months ago, whether maybe they were once a forklift operator, maybe they were a Marine Corps boat mechanic, a truck driver, you name it, They walked in 4 months ago to a Centric training classroom, and now they're walking out ready to start their new career in cybersecurity.
So many of them and so many others started their new careers and got it in as little as 4 months over at Centric. If you've been looking for that shift, cybersecurity could be the future for you. And you could find a way, a new path, and a new career. And like we said, before the Chiefs have turned it all around and we've switched up the schedule, Gold, and things are back to normal. No matter your background, go to Centric.com and find out more.
Yeah, that Centric can make it your future, no matter the background, as you said. Centric.com. Book a call with our buddy Russ Mondry today.
This is Creed Humphrey. Kansas City has the best fans in the world and the best bull riding team in the PBR. The Outlaws are looking to win it all this year, but they can't do it without you. I'm the chief of Outlaw Attitude, and I need you to pack the house. So buckle up and make some noise. The Outlaws are coming, and we know KC will be there with us. Come see Kansas City's next dynasty and join me at PBR Team Outlaw Days, October 3rd through 5th.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
It's football season, and I can't wait for the games. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents per gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
It's game day, and nothing says Chiefs football like the aroma of a tailgate grill. Kick off your pregame party with a Kingdom Meat Bundle from Hy-Vee. Get 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 pork chops, 4 bratwurst, and 4 chuck patties for just $30. Plus, get a 10-cent per gallon fuel saver. Toss in some chips and dip, side dishes, and Chiefs-themed baked goods. Score the extra point with your favorite tailgate beverage from Hy-Vee Wine and Spirit. Just one stop for all your game day needs, only at Hy-Vee.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As we get older, we don't heal as quickly as we used to. And if you're suffering from joint pain, you probably think, hey, a good night's sleep will make it better. But then you wake up and the pain is still there. Stop letting that pain dictate your life and your day and start living again pain-free. It's time to see my friends at QC Kinetics. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, actually help heal and restore. And the results are long-term lasting relief. QC Kinetics uses no surgery, no drugs, no long-term recovery. Just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. So grab your MRIs and your x-rays and get in touch with my friends over at QC Kinetics. They'll make sure you're a good candidate and your first consultation is free. So call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. Appointments on Saturday with QC Kinetics.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest, we believe.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
I mean, no, we don't listen to all that stuff. You know what I mean? We go back Tuesday, get back to work, and get ready for the next game.
McDuffie in the locker room yesterday talking about whether or not there's any panic with this football team. 0-2 start to the season. We're going to talk about the defense a little bit here before we get into some massive NFL news outside of Kansas City, but it definitely impacts the postseason, and it definitely impacts
everyone.
Seeding, NFL, and fantasy football, and betting, and everything. I mean, it truly sends
and
major
shockwaves,
and definitely our producer, Drew Nixon. We will get to Cincinnati and Joe Burrow in just a bit with the big news this morning with his injury. But let's talk about the defense, which was way better than what it was against the Chargers. We came in last Monday talking about, Ladd McConkey, 30% win rate, wide open, zero pressure on Herbert. It was so easy. They didn't have to run the ball. A couple things with this performance. I think clearly there was much better communication. There was all the miscommunication a week ago. You felt like guys were at least in the right spot, which for starters was not happening in week one. And I actually felt like guys, when they were on an island in coverage, did really, really well. Noah Williams had a big play at one point in time when they left him on an island.
Probably got away with one PI, but we'll let that go.
Yeah, but we can play that game with every corner of football. And they didn't call it, so therefore he held his own, right?
That one was pretty bad.
He held his own. The rookie did, which was nice to see. So I thought the defense improved quite a bit, which gave me some hope, as I said, looking forward, because the offense to me is not going to get any better for a couple weeks. So the defense getting better as quickly as they did was promising. Now, the one issue you still have, and will other teams exploit it better than Philly could, which is they still cannot get pressure when they don't blitz. It still has to be manufactured. Now, in this game, it worked. They got home when quickly.
When they blitzed, it worked. Except for the one Devonta Smith catch.
Correct.
Over McDuffie, although I'd say you got the coverage you wanted.
Yeah, McDuffie was right on him. Ball was underthrown. Devonta Smith made a great catch.
Tough play to defend.
The Chiefs blitzed Jalen Hurts on 16 of his 25 throws, according to Next Gen Stats, so 64% of the time. That was their highest blitz rate under Spags since 2019. This is a DC that blitzes more than just about anybody, and that was still the highest blitz rate. It
was a good plan.
Hurts, though, got the ball out quicker than any other time in his career. 2.11 seconds, ball was out.
So who cares? Because they were all at the line of scrimmage. Did you see his throw chart?
Yeah, well, he didn't have time to do it, and he only threw for 101 yards, and that's also why the coverage was better. You weren't asking guys to stick with their man for 5 seconds or whatever, right? And so it all went together. It was a really good scheme, I thought, from Spags. He deserves credit for that. I think he was actually the MVP of the game. If it's even possible to hand out an MVP for a loss, it would be Steve Spagnuolo. But the problem is, Cody, and we'll see it, they're going to play the Giants this week. It'll be Russ.
He just had 400 yards.
Not as mobile as he used to be. And then they're going to play Lamar Jackson the next week. So their inability to get pressure with the front four is still very, very concerning. But I did think they took a nice step forward if you're looking for any positive at all after a game like that yesterday.
I think you can always take positives out of a game if they exist. That was a night and day difference performance-wise defensively. Because in the previous game, when you were talking about, like, they came in slow, they came in hot. They were flying around on defense immediately. Looked like they had juice, had energy. They held them only 216 yards. That in its own right, that's a win. That game is fully on the offense. I don't care that Trent McDuffie got beat on one round. This entire game is on the offense because the defense put up an incredible performance, in my opinion. A couple of those points were gift wrapped. The interception from Patrick Mahomes that Travis Kelce dropped down into field goal range, and the free field goal the offense gave him, where the defense only gave up 2 yards after just giving it to them on a situation where they didn't get the 4th and 1. So, like, 6 points were completely gift wrapped in that game. They gave up one play that that Trent McDuffie probably wishes he could knock down, and that's a really, really difficult play to defend, and I would say that the call was good. You just didn't end up getting it. The biggest issue, and the only issue I would say I had in this game defensively and for the first 2 games is, well, it looks like we're back to not taking the ball away, huh? Like, I'll even forgive the pass rush stuff for a minute because they were choosing to blitz. I guess I won't know if they got pressure with the front four. They blitzed 70% of the time in the game. They need a ball hawk. They need someone who wants the football. Because, Gold, the difference in this game was the 1 turnover from the Chiefs and 0 from the Eagles. Had the Eagles turned the ball over at any point in that game, it's probably a win for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
they
it would have had to
take the ball.
It would have had to have come on the run game though, because based off of
they were throwing.
They were. I mean, how many times was the ball really thrown down the field?
94. Because the sacks, they had 94 total passing yards.
So
that's a great defensive performance.
So I don't know. I mean, there was maybe one opportunity to possibly get an interception in the game. You know, maybe one where McDuffie, knocked down the ball, and then I can't remember who it was, tried to make a diving play, and it would have been a hell of a play.
Hicks almost got it.
That would have been an insane play. But so I don't think there was really many opportunities in the passing game. I know you're like, well, create your opportunities, but because of what we said, getting the ball out in 2.1 seconds,
they're only 216 yards. They didn't have that many chances to take the ball away.
It would have had to have been a strip. And remember on the first drive of the game, I think it was Jalen Hurts fumbled it himself. Now he got it back. That would have been. Hindsight and everything, that would have been a massive, massive play. They would have had the ball inside the red zone right away. Jalen Hurts recovered his own fumble, and then they marched down the field.
It's just a matter of, it's like the one thing that's probably going to keep me afloat this week from the okay, don't let the concern get too high, out of control is, this was a better performance than week 1. They still lost.
Yes.
But I think the Eagles overall are a better team, and this was a better performance. This was certainly a better performance on defense. It was an equally bad performance on offense would be my argument, but the same problem exists. Thrown to Jason Brownlee and Tyquan Thornton and Hollywood Brown, who for a minute I thought that they were going to lose in that game, and I'm like, are you?
Yeah, he limped off for one play.
He limped off pretty strong. Yeah. It was a pretty strong limp goal. I'm like, are you? Hollywood, we just need you to stay healthy for 4 weeks. If you get hurt in week 7, I won't hold it against you. It's cool. I hope you don't. Hope you stay healthy the whole year. Can you make it 4 more weeks after this one is what I'm requesting at this point so they can get back Worthy and Rice together and you can go through it. But the defensive performance, I don't know how you could look at that.
I feel better about the defense, but it's still obvious what is probably going to be an issue the whole season, which is
turnovers and pressure
getting pressure with the front four. Spags is going to have to really dial it up like he did.
The problem with it this year, too, is last year, you're asking the defense to be perfect again because the offense can't do anything. You're asking the one play. Trent McDuffie had a really good game. the one play that he couldn't make a play on ended up being the one that got them inside the 5, and they ended up scoring a touchdown on to go up by double digits. So one misstep by the defense, and the game almost feels like it's over. Like it feels like the way that they're asking the defense to play, and last year they answered the bell all the time pretty much, except for really in the Super Bowl. The defense always answered the call, and where now we've seen in game 1 the defense obviously didn't look that great, but this one you're asking them to do almost more than what any team is really capable of, because the offense just can't get anything going. It's really, really difficult to win football games when you're constantly having to play borderline perfect football.
Yeah, they're a team, as we said to start the show, offensively, but I think you're right. I mean, it's defense as well. They don't have much margin for error right now, and that's going to be the case at minimum until Rice and Worthy are both on the field at the same time. And hopefully your offense is able to go out there and have some big plays and obviously put up points and have some sustained drives, and it just looks, frankly, right? Like, we all watch. Like, you don't have to watch football that long in your life to know when you watch they're all like, oh, this is just rough to watch. This is a struggle every single play.
Even the scoring drives are 12 plays
every
for 67 yards, and you're like, ugh.
Every 5 yards, you're like, oh, my, that was a lot of work to get 5 yards or get 3 yards. I mean, it's just brutal. And, yeah, the defense last year was really, really good. It's why they won 15 games. This year, the reason why they're still in both of these games, even though they've lost, is because of the defense. And when you're playing the opponents they're playing, it's not going to be good enough. Hopefully the Giants are a team that you can they can't think this way. I can, just as an outsider.
Oh, no. You can't overlook anyone.
I can step back and say, hopefully this is a game in which the Giants are not near the competition, and so it's good enough to at least get a win on Sunday. That can't be their thought process, but I can think that way.
Little afraid of Malik Neighbors, who is still very, 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 very good. Easily the worst, of all the moments on offense that make you just clench your fist in anger. The fact that they completed 3 passes and didn't have a first down is like, oh my God. You completed
the first quarter.
You completed 3 on the one that they failed the 4th down.
Yeah.
You completed 3 passes and you were still short of the sticks. Goodness. What am I watching? The Browns?
Yeah.
Look, you got Patrick Mahomes. This is crazy.
End of the first quarter, too, I think it was 1 for 4 for 3 yards passing. I think that was the end of the first quarter stat. And then Mahomes obviously started running a little bit, and the game was tied at halftime. They were still at. That's what's so weird about the Eagles game. If I would have told you before the season that, hey, they're playing the Eagles, it's going to be that's a potential loss. That's a really tough game, and they're going to be 10-10 at half. You're like, okay, yeah, they could swing that game in a hurry. It's all because of, one, how they've looked, but also the loss of the Chargers. If they would have beat the Chargers and they would have lost this game in this fashion, we'd be saying the same issues exist, but you'd be sitting at 1-1, and there wouldn't be the panic. I'm sure you've been texted already. I already got 3 texts today. You've got some radio hits, I'm sure, later this week as well. People, you want to come on, and we want to have you come on and talk about the 0-2 Chiefs. Everybody wants to talk about what the hell's going on in Kansas City for other reasons. It's already happening.
Meanwhile, the biggest story in the NFL probably from yesterday was once again a team losing, or eventually what always happens, a team losing a star quarterback or a star player that has a massive impact in the league. I want to start by saying I prefer when these players are healthy, and I think it makes the NFL more fun when guys like Joe Burrow are available to play. But Adam Schefter and pretty much everyone else, Ian Rappaport, all reporting the most likely scenario, although he's getting a second opinion, is that Joe Burrow is going to need turf toe surgery that is going to keep him out for a minimum of 3 months, which means he is likely done for the entire season. There'd be a small chance that if they were in the AFC title game, Joe Burrow would come back. So for the first time, Cincinnati actually found a way to start fast. They're 2-0. They actually found a way to win some games early, and now no more Joe Burrow likely for the rest of the season. Look, this has a massive impact in the league.
All the way from just their AFC North competition, what you think the Ravens or the Steelers potentially are going to do with the Bengals, to obviously seeding in the AFC. Plus, you just there's a trickle down effect of what NFC games that they have coming up down the road as well. It's a massive, massive blow anytime any team loses a quarterback, let alone a top 5 quarterback. Now, Browning has plenty of experience. We saw him a couple years ago when Burrow also missed time.
Pretty rocky yesterday, but they got the win.
Go out there and play well. Now, he did throw 3 interceptions, but he was, how many reps did he get during game week for that one? None, right? Basically. So they'll have a full week to get him up to speed. They still have unbelievable weapons on offense, but we just got done talking about margin of error. Well, now your defense, which in Cincinnati has been better than it was last year for 2 weeks, you need them to keep that up because you cannot count on Joe Burrow to bail you out. He's not going to be around.
No.
And so it's a huge, huge loss for them. We do have a show bet. Fortunately for Drew, there is 2 wins in the can.
He's 2-0.
He's got 2 wins in the bank already because otherwise, if it was 1-1 or 0-2, I think you would be very nervous about our Hooters bet. And that's something that now is very much in play.
Look, the reality is, we all agree that Joe Burrow is a top 4 quarterback in the NFL. Let's not get into the order. It's not important for this purpose because we know he's 2, 3, or 4 in most of our eyes. The biggest problem is very simple. Joe Burrow has all the talent in the world. He has an incredibly talented offense. He is injury prone in the worst way, worse than Christian McCaffrey, worse than people we talk about being injury prone. He's injury prone because he has now missed pretty much 3 full seasons with 3 different injuries. The wrist, the toe, and it was the Achilles, right, for him the previous time? Or was it the ACL? Which one was it?
Wrist ligament in 2023. He had the ACL, PCL, MCL 2020.
His whole knee ripped apart in 2020.
Knee, wrist, and toe. He's a magnet for it. He is a magnet.
They're all ligament injuries too. It's not broken anything. It's ligament.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just like he's medically predisposed to having that issue, or because of like anyone else. If you get hurt before, you rely on other parts of your body, and you don't realize you're relying on other parts of your body, and it makes you more susceptible to injury, Drew. But the problem is just he's injury prone.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
the problem.
of course. Yeah, I think now that this introduces officially the injury prone tag, and you can say it's fair or foul. It makes sense why people are saying that he's injury prone. It obviously sucks and it's a bummer, but by no stretch of the imagination do they need to throw in the towel. That's the.
No, I don't think anybody's saying that. No.
A lot of the sentiment from the fan base is the season's over with and it's done, which I think is just an embarrassing stance to have as a fan when they started 2-0 and.
Should they try? Would you be open? Like we've seen Browning play well in the past. Should they try? Would you want them to try to trade for Kirk Cousins or Jameis Winston or somebody like that?
I think depending on how the next couple games go, I think Kirk Cousins is the only one I think is one that I would want to entertain as a fan. Jameis is a great dude and everything. Jake Browning is the same type. They're not getting anything better than Jake Browning with him. Kirk Cousins, I'd be willing to listen to, but I think they should just wait to see how things play out with the Vikings game and then. The rest of the NFC North who they seemingly play in the next 3 weeks.
They should feel desperate, though. They should feel desperate because this is a team that hasn't made the playoffs. If they miss it again this year, and they're 2-0, so they got a better chance to make it, but they don't have their starting quarterback. It'll be 3 consecutive years, this team, without going to the playoffs and a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Now, I get part of 2 of those seasons would be that Joe Burrow didn't play, but, you should be feeling some heat having paid Jamar Chase, having paid T. Higgins, having only 1 year left of Trey Hendrickson. You should give yourself any chance of Joe Burrow coming back in an AFC title game.
Joe Goodberry did some numbers. He's a guy that covers the Bengals and everything. Jake's career stats. Completion percentage-wise, he's 4 percentage points higher than league average. Average yards per attempt, he's higher than league average. Touchdown percentage and interception percentage, both higher than league average. Passer rating is better than league average. So they have the best backup quarterback in the NFL, which is a very convenient thing to have when you have as people will label it, an injury-prone quarterback. It fits.
That's what he is.
Plus, he has the chemistry there where, with T and Jamar, where it feels like he's the best option for them moving forward. Now, if you look at history, without Joe Burrow, they average 6 points less per game, the Bengals offense does. So, obviously, it's a significant hit. Let's not act like Jake Browning is the same quarterback as Joe Burrow. But to your point, Gold, earlier, they're going to need the defense to continue creating turnovers. That's one of the things that they've done very well over the last couple of weeks.
17 games missed to this point in his career, and now he's going to miss at least, 14?
Yeah.
At least. Add 14 onto that.
Brutal.
So we'll keep an eye on it. I haven't looked at their playoff percentage and stuff like that. I think we'll have a better picture on that over the next 3 weeks, depending on how they look as an offense.
I don't think
and
make any
like
decisions on those until.
But it is huge that they have 2 in the bank, though. That is a much different scenario than where they have been in September. If they were 1-1 or 0-2, it's a completely different conversation. You get 2 there. Can you find a way to get 8 more wins, basically?
Can you be 500?
Yeah.
The rest, in a lot of ways.
I don't know if 9-8 gets you a wild card.
No, I meant 500 the rest of the way.
The rest of the way. Gotcha.
You got the 2 in the bank. Can you just
if they get to 10-7, they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Can you just find a way to stabilize the rest of the way? It just depends. It's always easy to point out backup quarterback stacks when they've made 7 career starts, and you're like, oh, they're better than all those things. 7 starts is a nice thing to have.
Judge.
The second the rest of the NFL plans for your ass every week for an entire NFL season, the job gets harder in a
their schedule gets a little more tricky too moving forward. But we'll see. I'll give Drew credit. He did not once mention this morning trying to say, "Hey, the bet we made." No, he's not trying to.
No, I'm full
the
on.
bet is injuries were always part of
bet.
the bet is the bet. So he did not try to skirt out of that already or anything like that.
If anything, we would probably take the out because you'd be like, "Well, they're 2-0, and I don't have to risk it." Sure, sounds good to me. Yeah. I'd be just as quick to take the out as Drew at this point, but the bet's the bet.
It is.
We'll stick with it, but it's just also I don't know. I kind of hate when quarterbacks like this go down in the NFL because it doesn't offer a true test of what we're.
This is why I don't want guys getting suspended after already being ejected for a game. I want the best players playing.
No, that's different. Mm-hmm. This is.
I knew that would get Cody would.
I was just glad to hear somebody else on my side. Dana was very much on my side.
He was. Yeah.
I like to have people in my corner occasionally.
I will say real quick while we're talking about Jalen Carter. Not that I thought the O-line played amazing, but it wasn't as disruptive. He wasn't as disruptive as I thought he would be.
Agreed. The offensive line, while not perfect, although at one point, there's a couple of times where it feels like they didn't protect the right way.
And this is run game aside. They couldn't run the football. We know that. I mean, this is an ongoing issue here.
I thought the pass blocking was okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. He wasn't a disaster. Look, to be honest, unfortunately the bar is very low right now for him and what we expect going up against Jalen Carter. Yeah, it was not like this clear disaster. I still don't know what happened with Josh Simmons. He was out for 4 snaps. He came out. Jalen Moore came in, and actually he was fine playing left tackle. And I know that's a name that we're keeping an eye on based on Juwan Taylor's performance moving forward and everything, and obviously in the fuybut. But in the locker room, Josh Simmons he was like, "Hey, I'll let Andy kind of handle that." And then I don't think Andy was asked about it. Maybe he will today at noon. Everybody's trying to figure out in the press box, Cody. Was he hurt? He came
off.
Went
to the injury
he
tent.
Always had his helmet with him. Never went into the blue medical tent. At one point, the Chiefs trainer was talking to him. Rick Burkholder was talking to him, but that was it. He was standing around the whole time. Then he was back in the next drive. And he was totally fine in the locker room.
They did not discuss it on the TV broadcast.
They did not.
Other than he was out, Jalen Moore was in, and then eventually Simmons was back in.
Initially, you were thinking, he's are they evaluating him for a concussion or something? But he never went in the blue medical tent. So it's really bizarre. I don't know if Andy will get asked about it. I just love just the answer. I'm more curious. Obviously it's fine now, but what prompted him to miss on a key drive? 3 or 4 snaps for Jalen.
Although
Moore.
Kudos to Simmons' athleticism. Tracking down.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Holy
that was impressive.
Cow.
18 miles an hour?
Yes,
that size?
Touchdown saving tackle. I understand the Eagles ended up scoring on that drive later, but still they had to work for it. Yeah, that was really impressive for him to track down. Remember, he plays left tackle. He was on the opposite side of the field. He came all the way across.
I'll tell you right now, coaches in a meeting room are going to applaud the hell out of that effort in a meeting this week because, that was crazy.
Sports Talk on 96.5 The Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. Sylvester Stallone is back in the original hit series Tulsa King. This season, Dwight faces his most dangerous adversaries yet, forcing him to fight for everything he's built and to protect his empire. Stream the new season of Tulsa King on Sunday, September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus. Up next, let's talk more about Travis Kelce. It has been a rough first 2 weeks. We'll also take your calls, 913-586-7965.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Gold, and I'm letting you know that FanDuel is coming to Missouri. You've probably seen it by now, heard about it. You've been waiting for years. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. The wait is almost over. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's tons of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet on everything, from the money line to those over-unders to which team is going to win it all. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can even pick which player is going to score the next touchdown. And then maybe you got a feeling on who's going to score the one after that and the one after that. Mark your calendars. FanDuel is coming to Missouri on December 1st. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi there, I'm Charlie. And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC. If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help. Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting. Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team. He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days. He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises. Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision. Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. Holidays will be here before you know it, and M. Shamus is ready to get a jingle from you. From our all-you-can-eat hot and cold gourmet salad bar to our 12 cuts of beef, lamb, pork, or chicken. Go to mshamus.com to order our famous Brazilian glazed holiday hams in advance, or set a holiday party date for a table of 1 to a party of 100. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of dining.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Every big play starts with a first down, and every financial future starts with the right partner. Main Street Credit Union is not-for-profit and member-owned, which means we invest in you with guidance that's clear, tools that make sense, and people who actually listen. We're here to help you move the chains. Whatever your next move is, auto loan, savings goal, or paying off debt, let's make it one play at a time. Visit mainstreetcu.org to get started.
That leaf pile is 100 feet tall. Your dad can't handle this. Not without the right equipment.
Yard work piling up? Gear up for fall with John Deere. Get $750 off select mowers, $2,000 off select Gator UVs, and $3,000 off select compact tractors.
Did I hear your dad got a John Deere? Yep, bad day to be a leaf pile.
Gear up for fall at an authorized John Deere dealer, now through September 30th. Learn more at johndeere.com/gearupforfall.
Tulsa is my home now.
Academy Award nominee Sylvester Stallone stars in the Paramount Plus original series, Tulsa King.
This distillery is a very interesting business, and we gotta know the enemy.
From Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Landman.
What are you saying? I'm all right. If you think you're gonna take me out, it's gonna be really difficult.
Tulsa King, new season streaming September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at chumbacasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Hey, this is Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Tuesday with CDOT at 3:15, right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. 1 hour from now, Andy Reid will speak to the media. The only place on a Monday you hear from Coach Reid is your home for the Chiefs, 96.5 The Fan. It happens during Cody and Gold each and every Monday throughout the football season. We will get to the trash of the day in 17 minutes. But here in about 10 minutes or so, we will open up the phone lines. We don't, frankly, take a ton of calls on the show.
Call now if you want.
We mainly lean on the text line. Obviously, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. You can comment on those platforms as well. But it's uncharted territory for Chiefs fans of recent era, at least. I understand that the Chiefs have had 0-2 starts plenty of times in their franchise's history, but not in this era. First time with Patrick Mahomes, they're 0-2. How's everybody feeling? Where's the panic level? Were you out at Arrowhead yesterday? Let us know. 913-586-7965. That's 913-586-7965. You can text, but also we will take some calls if you do want to chime in here in about 10 minutes or so.
So go ahead and get online.
I want to start this hour talking about Travis Kelce, because in 2 weeks, he has made, in my opinion, 2 plays that I don't want to say are the reason they have lost, but certainly 2 of the reasons they have lost these football games. And as we said, when you have the issues you currently have offensively, when your defense is still trying to figure things out, even though they improved, you have to have guys like Mahomes, Jones, Kelce, McDuffie, Jawan Taylor, for that matter. You know, those guys have to play at an extremely high level. I don't want to say perfect, but they certainly can't make crucial mistakes that lead to a big shift in the game, points directly, whatever it may be. And Travis Kelce in 2 weeks has made 2 massive mistakes. Last week, you know, the route is wrong, is run improperly. Those are, remember, his words, not mine. He's the one. I'll just based off of, you can say he's defending worthy. Maybe he is. I don't know. He said he ran the wrong route, or at least he messed up. It caused Worthy to get hurt. Massive mistake. Massive mistake, if that's the case. Then we all just saw it yesterday. He drops a catch that has to be caught, that I'm sure he's caught 95% of the time in his NFL career.
Yeah.
He knows it. Everybody knows it. Gets batted up, intercepted, returned to midfield, essentially, leads to points, and just a huge momentum shift, not to mention you were about to score. Who knows? Maybe the Chiefs win this football game. I think you and I both think they win if he catches that football.
The way they were playing defensively, I absolutely
do. In fact, I think it was Jesse Newell over at The Athletic that put out just one of the metrics. There's different sites that put the win probability, but it was rbsdm.com, said that Travis Kelce's dropped pass, turn interception, was worth negative 7.1 points. Essentially, the win probability went from 53% for the Chiefs, dropped all the way down to 24%. That is a huge shift on one play involving one of your leaders, involving a star player on your team. That's what's been so shocking, is that 2 weeks in the season, okay, they're 0-2, yes, the offense is struggling. Yeah, they lost Worthy, they lost Rice, but your number one playmaker, because of those guys being out, is Travis Kelce, and he has hurt you.
2 weeks in a row. He is an emotional player and plays with emotion. I'm not going to try to take that away from him in any way. But he has lost it on the sideline twice, or on the field twice. in 2 weeks. He was rightfully criticizing Jawan Taylor, but yelling at Jawan Taylor about the mistake he had made in game 1 when he had gotten called for yet another penalty. After they scored a touchdown, he was seen on sideline going to break, saying that he was tired of it, right? And used some curse words and some, colorful language, as it were. This goes back to what they had said at the beginning of the season, and they said for 2 seasons in a row, is that they want the offense to feel fun. And it has felt the opposite of that for 2 to 3 consecutive years. And I'm assuming at some point it's just getting to Travis. But the problem is, it's very simple. He's always made drops. He's never been like a perfect player who doesn't make drops. He's always had, not like a problem, but like that's been a part of his game. He'll drop an occasional pass here or there. It was just the worst possible drop at the worst possible time. What's weird about this is, even before that moment, and even after Gold, I would argue that it is fairly obvious that Travis Kelce looks better this year than he did last year. Gold, I think he looks like a better player this season and will be a more impactful player for the Chiefs this season than he was at any point last year. And I think we'd all universally agree that had he not dropped that pass in the end zone, that swung the game. It was the single biggest play in the game. And so how do you get past that? How do you hold him accountable? It's not like he's not going to hold himself accountable. I'm still not even sure that worthy one was his fault. And he's not doing just what Patrick Mahomes did after that play, which is Patrick Mahomes trying to take blame for that interception. He said he could have put it on Travis Kelce better. He could have thrown that pass better. It hit him in his 2 hands. And Patrick is still saying, I could have thrown it better. So, like, for Travis, he'll take the blame. He's happy to take the blame here. But on the football field, he's got to find a way to, like, minimize those mistakes for the next 4 weeks. He is their most important offensive player other than Patrick Mahomes for the next month. So, like, can you act like it? Until Worthy gets back, maybe even when Worthy's back and he's trying to get back in the swing, you are the most important offensive player outside of Mahomes. So you got to play like it.
Yeah, and that's the key part, going forward here. And it's not even, yes, specifically the next couple of weeks, whether without Worthy and or Rice. But, I mean, the entire season, though, I mean, these kind of mistakes, though, you cannot afford to have them in this division now that looks like it's going to be tighter than ever because of the hole that you've kind of dug yourself in. We'll talk more about the AFC West after tonight because there's a big game in the West this evening, late one, 9 o'clock kickoff, Chargers and Raiders. But, look, it goes back to the Bobby Wood Jr. stuff we said 2 weeks ago when Bobby had that really rough game. When you're
bounce back, yeah,
at the level both of them are at, like, they're well aware of the mistake they made. Unacceptable. I'm sure they take it very hard. Now, Travis Kelce, we didn't have a chance to talk to him, as you said, after the game yesterday. I'm sure he'll talk about it on his New Heights podcast on Wednesday or whenever it comes out. And I'm sure he'll own it and talk about it as well. But it would also not surprise you what you were about to say is on Sunday Night Football against the Giants, if he comes up with a play that helps him win a game. That's the kind of stuff that usually happens in these scenarios. But it's just odd to see in 2 straight weeks, 2 plays that have really hurt your offense, to say the least, and this one in particular. Because it directly took points off the board.
Well, I think
directly took points off the board.
Like, I know, again, I go back to like the emotional player part. I really do think he has to be a stabilizing force now that they're 0-2. And instead, it seems like he's been a destabilizing, right? And that's the opposite of what I would say is a huge chunk of Travis Kelce's career. But at the moment, it's like he's getting like agitated and more frustrated and is visibly showing. And I'm not saying that never happens. Like we were pointing out when Gronk was saying like, oh, you get in their heads. And then they like Tom Brady's never thrown an iPad or whatever on the sideline. But like at the moment when everybody needs to be kind of like churning together to just right the ship, at least for this week, right? Because we can talk tomorrow maybe about what they need to go in the next 4 games. And I would argue 3-1. But like, I do think he's a better player this year, but he made the worst mistake of the game out of anybody. He dropped a pass. And if you just drop the pass, Gold, and they don't get the touchdown, that's one thing. But he didn't just drop the pass and they got nothing. He dropped the pass.
Last week, it wasn't a drop, but maybe he cut his route off too quickly, and it was also inside the 5-yard line. That was an incomplete pass in that scenario. And I think they settled for a field goal last week, if I'm not mistaken, in that exact scenario. So it's been some mistakes that you don't expect from him. I agree with you that yes, he looks quicker, but you said you think he's. I don't know if I would agree that I think you said he's better than last year. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that at all.
It also looks like, to me, I think it's not only bad because of the pick thing, but it's bad because you're the one who's talking on the sideline and getting mad, but then but then you can't make the catch. It emphasizes things a little bit more when you're throwing your helmet and you're sick and tired of it, and then it just looks bad when you're getting mad at Juwan Taylor, throwing your helmet on the sideline. Then when you drop the pass and it leads to a pick, you don't want to talk to the media afterwards. I think that's just it just looks really bad.
So the one thing about the not talking to the media, and I don't disagree that like it's weird. I usually take it more as like a compliment to you when you're willing to do it than a negative when you're not. The thing is, Drew, is like Alex and I've been covering this team. I've gone to locker rooms going back to the Alex Smith days, back to the 2013, 14, whatever. Covered this team a long time. That is a pretty standard operating procedure for the Chiefs the entire time.
Guys clear out pretty quick.
In the end, when they lose, they're gone.
Yeah, the locker room clears out pretty quick.
Not just Travis, everyone.
And I'll say this in fairness: last year when they won 15 games, it's not like
they get out fast. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
Travis wasn't available after every game.
There's a certain few players that will speak just about any time, and I give them credit for that. But kind of what you said, Cody. It's like you shouldn't expect these guys to speak every single time after the game. There's certain games where it makes more sense.
I think Kelce
but then you do have some guys that I think you respect quite a bit. That do talk no matter what. Like Trent McDuffie, Justin Reid was this guy too.
Chris Jones is
good for Chris Jones. Yeah,
he was at the podium, so that might have been also a Chiefs PR thing more than anything. But the Trent McDuffie didn't have to talk to the media after the game. He almost every single time does. Justin Reid, as I said, was that way as well. And I don't expect these guys to want to talk to us every single time. I mean, come on, especially after a loss.
It's a really tough loss.
But in that scenario, I'm not surprised. I guess I'm not surprised that Travis wasn't.
I get it. I just think it's a
game.
bad look for you to have the attitude that he has during the game, and then not to. Because look, if he's going to have that energy, bring the energy to like the presser as well. I feel like if you want to get your emotions off, then that's great.
He's doing it, but he's just doing it in his own media source. So why can't I? He went on that podcast and he said, "I screwed up. I take ownership."
I'm sure it'll happen again on Wednesday.
And he'll do the same thing on Wednesday. So it's like, I can't, as a person who's in the media, it's like I can fault him for just taking that stance and taking those accountabilities, but in a different form. He doesn't owe it to do it to me. Would I like that he did it in front of the media for the people so we can see? Sure. From a person who also works on that side of it, absolutely. But he's never been afraid to take accountability for his screw-ups, which is certainly going to be something I imagine he does on Wednesday.
913-586-7965. Not only is that the Jay Southland Tow Service text line, but because the Chiefs are in uncharted territory, we'll do something we don't do very often on this show as well, and that is we'll take some calls as well. 913-586-7965. How are you feeling? 0-2. Are you panicking? Were you at the game yesterday as well? First up, we've got Jeffrey in KCK. Jeffrey, thanks for holding. You're on with Cody and Gold.
Hey, guys. One thing about Travis Kelce real quick, and then I'll get to the how I'm feeling. I think with the emotion with Travis, I love it. I also am curious how much of that emotion is him internalizing the fact that this might be the last run, and he doesn't like feeling 0-2. It's kind of uncharted territory for him a little bit too, and who knows if that's the case of it. But for me, my opinion may not be as exciting as what everybody's saying. I see Twitch chats kind of blowing up a bit. I just am not concerned. I really am not. I mean, we have Xavier Worthy coming back. You're going to have Rashee Rice coming back. I mean, that's going to be bigger than any trade you could imagine. We saw the Broncos falter yesterday, which is great. And, one of the other teams in the AFC West tonight is losing. I just don't think that there is as much concern because we've seen this happen with the Chiefs in previous years, and we see it in the random Colts games throughout the year. We've seen it in the random, games where we're losing terribly to teams. It just happens in week 7 or 8 rather than week 1 or 2. And yes, it's against the Eagles and against the Chargers, but I just don't think that this team is going to not be 3-3 come Game 6 with Rice coming back. I mean, I guess that's just me. Maybe I'm too much looking in the roses there, but I appreciate it, guys. That's just kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Thank you, Jeffrey. There you go, Jeffrey in KCK. I think tomorrow we're going to talk more about map out the next couple weeks and where do we think they need to get to before it really is a serious conversation about whether it's division, playoffs, and all that.
That's a real problem. Just
we
have to go.
So we are going to do that. I think we kind of tried to say there are serious concerns still with this team. Plenty of issues yesterday, things that cannot happen and all that. You can acknowledge that, just like you can acknowledge the tush push and stuff wasn't why they directly lost, but also you can be upset about it. I don't like a lot of the things I'm seeing. I also don't think this football team is as bad as 0-2. And I know the cliche is your record is what your record is. You are what your record is, whatever. You are who your record is, whatever. I butchered it. You guys know what I'm saying. But I look at the other 0-2 teams. This is
they don't belong in the conversation with Miami and Cleveland and Chicago's sad-ass franchise. And the
defense stepping up, to me, gave me some hope. And then the other hope, of course, is Rice and Worthy coming back. Does that fix the offense? Now, if Rice and Worthy come back and it's week 8 and they've played for a week or so and the offense still looks like this, then it's a completely different conversation. I am still banking on the offense can't be this way when they have actually, for the first time ever, Brown, Worthy, Rice, all in the field at the same time. I'm still banking on that. I'm also still banking on what Spags did in 1 week. Imagine what happens as the season goes on. But anyway, let's go back out to the phones. Jacob in the Northland, you're on with Cody and Gold.
Yo, what's going on, fellas? Thanks for taking my call. I'd like to shout out to my boy Colin from the Northland and my other boy Matt from Houston.
All right.
But I just wanted to say I just texted in, and honestly, how much more are we going to go until we start to admit that Travis is pretty detrimental to this football team? Honestly, I think it's time to give Noah Gray a lot more looks and a lot more touches and some more opportunity because we know he's capable of it. I agree with you guys a lot. I think if Rice and Worthy come in and we look like the offense that's the well-oiled machine, back to normal. But we're also taking these L's that I don't know, how detrimental those are going to be when it's come playoff time. Granted, I think that we can still win the division, obviously, but we got to get our heads on straight offensively or I don't know where this team is going. And as far as the defense, Spags really said something to get these guys to step up. But, I mean, there's still a lot of key mistakes out there. And guys maybe are being just too emotional, honestly.
There you go, Jacob in the Northland. Actually, so I disagree with the last part because I appreciate the call, Jacob. The last part I disagree, though. Just last week we were saying they didn't match the emotion of the Chargers and being in Brazil and all that, and now we're saying they're too emotional. So I disagree with that. I get your first part where, like, hey, eventually, in terms of like the seeding conversation stuff, if you were to drop one to the Ravens in a week or so, all of a sudden you'd have losses to the potential playoff team and the Ravens, a potential playoff team and the Chargers. You're
going to be playing wild card weekend in a middle seed.
Yeah, that is very true. I agree with that part.
Also, Noah Gray. They could call him Casper. He's been a ghost.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Noah Gray? He has 2 catches this year for 4 yards.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I wouldn't mind seeing Noah Gray a little bit more. I disagree with, Noah Gray should be getting, as much opportunity as Kelce or something like that. That to me is crazy.
A detriment yet. I don't think he's as good as Kelce 5 years ago, sure, but I still think he's better than last year.
The first 2 weeks he has hurt this football team. That is reality. That can still be reality with also saying, hey, he's part of the solution still for this football team to get to where they need to get. They need him to be part of the solution if you think this team can still be a 11, 12, 13 win football team. Whatever. And I don't know where everybody's opinions are on win-loss, if it's shifted drastically or not. I will point out, now we didn't think they were happening in an 0-2 start by any means, but if you thought they were 11-win football team, they were going to lose the football games. Now, admittedly, I don't think anybody thought they were going 0-2 though. All right, one final call. Dylan in KC Mo, you're on with Cody and Gold.
Hey guys, first want to shout out my wife. Sorry, my voice is a little scratchy. I was at the game yesterday, but honestly, not too disappointed with the outcome. I mean, obviously the Travis drop was pretty detrimental to the vibes on the sideline and in the stadium, but I'm feeling pretty optimistic. Like I said, just give me to week 7, week 8 when we got all the guys back, and I think we'll get it on strike.
Dylan and KC Mo calling in the show, 913-586-7965. Thanks for the call.
The only reason, and this is why I don't understand the text line when they're like, burn it all down, is,
who's saying burn it all down?
No. Just like some are just like on this, like, it's so negative, it's all over, the run's done. It's like, they do deserve, and not just because they do deserve as a franchise some benefit of the doubt here. That they will correct some of these things. They have won a lot of games.
The key is what we said: is Rice and Worthy coming back. What does it look like then? That's what this all hinges on. That, frankly, it really does. It all hinges on that.
Offense, then this isn't bad year, and they've got a lot to fix.
Because the defense, it looks like based off of the lack of pass rush, is likely not going to be good as a year ago. I think it's very fair to say. The question is, to what extent is the drop off? I think it's very promising that week 1 to week 2, there was serious improvement, but it's clear that, Spags had a blitz 64% of the time. in order to, I think, lead to that type of performance. Can you do that at a weekly basis? I don't think so. Can you do that when you take on a quarterback that is able to maybe sling it a little bit more? Now, Jalen Hurts only had 2.1 seconds to throw the football, so I don't know how many quarterbacks would have put up massive numbers, but the guy threw for 101 yards. You get credit for that, but also I think the Eagles were more than happy with the way that game was going to play that style of football. We did say on Friday, I'd picked the Eagles to lose, so I was wrong there. We did say we thought this was going to be like a 2017 type of ugly or lower scoring football game. And I think anybody thought that was going to be a shootout. That was the style of play both teams were more than willing to play.
Yep. And both teams had a good chance to win the football game in the fourth quarter as a result of it.
Someone said, when did you guys become the shout-out show? Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. I appreciate the callers. I don't know why.
Did you tell people to shout people out when they came on the air?
Were you trying to sabotage? I don't know what was going on.
We do shout-outs on the show.
People were calling in and just shouting out people,
They did not say anything.
Just kind of happened.
Look, they did not say anything about that. From now on, I will remind people. Let's
honestly let them have their shout out. What do I care?
You want to let them have the shout out.
If it's quick, then whatever.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, we know, Cody, you had a birthday recently. Drew, yours is in October?
A little over a month away.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Could be 30.
So there was an issue with a birthday party in Germany. A birthday wish in Germany almost led to third-degree burns. You're like, okay, what happened here? Yeah, so a 20-year-old was leaning over his cake. There's footage now of this. While relatives set up what everyone assumed were standard, like, sparklers, like the candles for the cake. The problem is the room filled with flames and screams as the candles shut off like a pyrotechnics demo in the middle of the dining room. They were not candles, guys. They were fireworks in the birthday cake. So that's what happened.
How do you mess that up when you're going to buy those?
I do not know. I think it's pretty evident, and maybe the laws are different there. I cannot just go to the grocery store and buy birthday candles that also happen to be next to the Roman candles. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a pretty bad misstep.
Have you seen the video?
Candles, yeah, that's pretty bad.
I mean, at first I thought, this is a setup.
Somebody going to do this instead of like the candles that don't blow out? Like they're going to mess with poor Drew and put Roman candles on top of his cake?
Better be doing that outside. Ruin the seal. I mean, you'll catch the building on fire.
If I put Roman if I lit some Roman candles in
that
here?
one, you would be fired for. If you ruined the studio and caught it on fire.
What if I didn't catch it on fire? I just happened to shoot a Roman candle in here, and
What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know. Just like I singed a couple of tiles.
All the tiles come crashing down. All the lights come crashing down. You do thousands of dollars worth of damage.
I'll get fired for that. I'm saying, what if I just singe a couple of the tiles and the rest of us are fine? Put some holes.
The first question before they fire you would be, What were you thinking?
There'll be a debrief, I imagine, no matter what.
What was the thought process behind that?
I don't know.
Man, what a wild way to explain being fired that would be. Like, how'd you get fired? Lit some Roman candles in my workplace.
In the studio. I'm like, no, why did you think that was a good idea?
I didn't, great question.
Didn't think.
Good question.
Up next, we will get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk more about Chris Jones, his performance, and also kind of a bizarre mic'd up moment very late in that football game. And then we'll get back into how this team is 0-2, plus Andy Reid, about a half hour away.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
So good to have football back. Week 2, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money over on the Missouri side, as in you can make your selections on the Missouri side right now over at Underdog. You're just choosing whether your favorite players will go higher or lower than their stats, touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions. Get those entries right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash and play with as little as $1. Tonight, for instance, I'm thinking Egbuka's going to continue his trend, and I like him to go higher than 54.5 receiving yards tonight as they take on Houston. Why not join me and be one of the millions who have won billions over at Underdog and be next to use that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets at underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hello all, Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. This is when we start working in our yards. Be careful that your outside faucet didn't burst over the winter. Maybe you've discovered that it doesn't work very well. This month, we are offering an outside faucet replacement special with access for only $3.99. So call Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber, at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
It's football season and I can't wait for the games. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents per gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
It's game day, and nothing says Chiefs football like the aroma of a tailgate grill. Kick off your pregame party with a Kingdom Meat Bundle from Hy-Vee. Get 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 pork chops, 4 bratwurst, and 4 chuck patties for just $30. Plus, get a 10-cent per gallon fuel saver. Toss in some chips and dip, side dishes, and Chiefs-themed baked goods. Score the extra point with your favorite tailgate beverage from Hy-Vee Wine and Spirit. Just one stop for all your game day needs, only at Hy-Vee.
People who suffer from long-term chronic joint pain spend so much of their time acting, putting up a carefree front. It's exhausting.
I was really tired of trying to act like I wasn't in pain because I was in pain all the time.
Rick Rawlings didn't want everyone else to know that he was coping with agonizing shoulder pain 24/7.
Yes, I had to put on a face to cover up my pain.
But then Rick found QC Kinetics, offering new lasting treatments for joint pain using natural biologics. Treatments designed to restore and repair joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. The results were amazing.
I am very glad. It changed my life doing the QC Kinetics. Today, my shoulders feel wonderful. The cranky Rick is gone. He's not grouchy anymore.
No more acting. Feel like yourself again with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamas Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. Holidays will be here before you know it, and M. Shamas is ready to get a jingle from you. From our all-you-can-eat hot and cold gourmet salad bar to our 12 cuts of beef, lamb, pork, or chicken. Go to mshamas.com to order our famous Brazilian glazed holiday hams in advance or set a holiday party date for a table of 1 to a party of 100. Go to mshamas.com and discover the joy of dining.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Getting the job done right the first time protects your home, time, and budget. This summer, get $500 off a water softener and filtration combo. Schedule at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks, Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Check them out at allweatherdecks.net.
Coming up in a half hour, Andy Reid will speak to the media exclusively here on 96.5 The Fan, as he does each and every Monday. Plenty to hear from him, more thoughts on the game, and also I'm sure, now it'll be too early in the week, but he'll be asked about Xavier Worthy, who it sounds like was somewhat close to playing on Sunday, even though he was officially doubtful Friday and then ruled out by Saturday afternoon. A lot of national reporting suggesting that Xavier Worthy could play this Sunday night. We've got all week for that. Certainly, as we all watch this offense, Xavier Worthy being part of it would be a big boost, considering the lack of explosiveness. And if you're a defense right now, I think it's very easy to match up with them. You're not worried about the run game. Tyquan Thornton's got open deep a few times. Other than that, I don't know if you're really that concerned right now.
I mean, yeah, if I'm a defense, I'd be like, okay, pretty simple here. We'll limit Travis Kelce. Keep an eye on Tyquan, like you said, occasionally. Other than that, who's shown up? Noah Gray has 4 receiving yards. Anybody seen Juju? He's on the milk carton.
Yeah, week 1 he was week 1, but this week he didn't do anything. Yeah, week 1 he was their second leading receiver, I think.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, no one is stepping up in some massive way in the early part, but that's not the point. The point for these next 4 games is survival. It is just win under any means necessary and then fix the offense in a month. Maybe I feel a little bit different if Worthy comes back this week, where they need at least to look a little bit better offensively, but we'll see.
We'll get into just the 0-2 start more specifically and just how this moment has been reached. And I don't think it's just they've lost 2 football games and the Worthy injury and Rice suspension. It also goes back to the offseason and a few things that we had talked about on this show around the draft and the way things were trending. I think some of it is very fair. I think some of it is revisionist history. I'll explain that coming up in a couple of minutes. But towards the end of the game yesterday and at the very end when it was over, when the Eagles were going to take a few knees, there was a mic'd up moment that went viral yesterday towards the end. I think Fox had it picked up and then pushed it out on social media. It's pretty quick, but this was Chris Jones and Jalen Hurts. So this is Jalen Hurts walking up to the line of scrimmage, basically about to, ice the game.
2-0 start to this season. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are about to start 0-2 and hand Patrick Mahomes his first ever 3-game losing streak.
So I don't know how well that came across, I'll be honest.
You didn't even have 100 yards.
Yeah, I don't know how well that came across on the radio. But yeah, go ahead, Cody. Sorry, read the quote.
Yeah, no, that was... So Chris Jones says, you didn't even have 100 yards in talking about their passing game. And then you can hear Jalen Hurts said, we won the game. It's just a reminder.
He said, shut your ass up.
He is walking to the line of scrimmage for victory formation. This is one of the worst look that you want to talk about earlier when I was saying like signs of like, don't let him get to you. Don't crack. Don't start that. What are you doing? You're talking trash to a guy as he's walking up for victory formation. Now that says, I will say, maybe that speaks to the problem that is currently with this team, which is it was not the defense's fault that they lost that game. So Chris Jones is like, we did our job. You didn't even get anything. Oh, look at you celebrating on offense. You didn't get anything. It's just not the time. I'm not saying you didn't do a good job. I'm not saying the defense didn't do a great job. We already talked about that. They clearly did. But your team's losing. If they're in victory formation, it's time to not say anything. That's like when the guys do the incomplete and you're down 30. You don't get to throw the first down marker up if you're down 50-10. Nobody cares you got a first down. It's not the time.
Yeah,
it's not that you can't do it. It's like it's just not the time.
That's one of those mic'd up moments where I guess they weren't mic'd up, right? The mics picked it up. They weren't mic'd up, but where Eagles fans are going to love it, and they did. Eagles fans are going to love it, and if you're a Chiefs fan, that should irritate you because there's really nothing you can say on that one. There's nothing you can say on that one and that's when you just got to take the L.
You got to wear.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty good comeback. He's like, we won the
game. It's true, though. It's like,
get your ass up.
It is so true, though. It's like, who cares what our stats look like? We just beat your ass. Like, it is true. Like, what are you doing?
And we beat you in the Super Bowl before. It's not even just
I don't know what was
one
that.
team getting. I think he's just frustrated. They're just frustrated. They're not used to being in this spot. That's all it is. This is more than just normal. Like, we're holding each other accountable. It's an emotional game. We're showing our emotions. They're letting their frustration get the better of them at the end of these games. I'm not saying it's costing them football games yet, but that was pretty clear.
And someone on the text line, I'm sure this is true, yes, from the 816, guess more was said during the game. Oh, I'm sure there was plenty of trash talk during the game. It's just like, hey, at that point, the game, you lost, and so you really can't say anything at that moment. But yeah, I'm sure plenty of trash talk was said throughout the entire game between both sides. There was.
Yeah.
Given the history that those two franchises now have with each other.
It just felt like kind of a sad moment. You're like, ugh. Like when you're yelling at each other, you're trying to hold each other accountable. There's a lot more understanding in it. When you're trying to trash talk the guy who's beaten you 2 times in a row in your last 3 games and you're off to an 0-2 start, it's like it's just not the moment. Like, look, if you're a bad football teams do that. Bad football teams are like 4-11 and trash talking when they get the win. You're like, we're heading to the playoffs. Oh no! Oh, you got me on that one. Good for you. Like Carolina Panthers. And they're not again, I don't think the Chiefs are a bad football team. I think they will still win a lot of games this year. Do I think that they're winning 14? They're going 14-3 like I predicted before the season? Can't say that I do, Gold. Can't say that if you let me alter my win projection, I won't alter it. I think that's fairly obvious based on the way that this is going. I just think they got to find a way to stabilize. I think a win will make them feel a lot better. I think for the Chiefs, this is a weird pace. They haven't won in...
It's been a bit. AFC title game.
Yeah, so it just... For them, it's got to just feel bizarre. They don't remember what it's like to walk up the field and win. That's just got to be. And I get most teams had waited that long from the end of their regular season to the beginning of their regular season. But
everything is heightened and magnified. This is, I said, we're just not used to this in Kansas City in a long time. Yeah,
that's part of it.
I think if you're Chris Jones and I think his internal thoughts maybe of the offense got vocalized a little bit there where. Traditionally, he's been good at, I would say, keeping to himself how he feels about things. But I think his internal thoughts about how bad the offense has been, I did my job. It doesn't, as long as I did my job, then it's whatever. It's not my problem. It felt like he was blaming the offense without blaming the offense in a way by him saying what he said.
In a way, he did. Yeah, he put it on the offense.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a shot as much at Jalen Hurts as it was. We're doing our job, and then Jalen Hurts had to remind him, and you guys still lost the game. I think his internal thoughts of, well, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, the offense isn't, and they aren't getting the job done. That's
it's what a dangerous
it comes
rhetoric.
Across. Yeah, it comes across as that also.
Because in any individual game,
you're talking bad about your team in that same comment while you're trying to diss Jalen Hurts or whatever.
In a way, yeah. Yeah, I think it's you got to read between the lines. But yeah, I think that there's a lot in that comment that says, I did everything I was supposed to do. We did what we were supposed to do. But Chris Jones didn't maintain outside leverage on the final play of the previous game.
Right.
So it's it's just not that you can't fire back on the other side of the offense or the defense if both sides are making mistakes.
And that's the thing as we talk about the 0-2 start now. And the first time, Mahomes has lost 3 in a row. If you include the Super Bowl, it's just hadn't happened in his career.
Is an insane stat in its own right.
It is a pretty crazy stat that it's taken this long. And also it had to include a Super Bowl for him to even get to that mark. That is true. But you said it at the end there, Cody, of that conversation about Chris Jones and the mistake last week. Why is this team 0-2? There's a long list, and we've worked through some of them today. Tomorrow we will talk more. We will talk about, guys on staff as well. And I know some of you have texted in about play calling a lot. We'll get into all that tomorrow on the show. I think, right this second, how are they 0-2? In large part, yeah, it's all the offense. That's the huge chunk of the pie, I would put.
It's a way bigger part of the
That's
issue,
the bigger chunk. Defense is still on that pie chart. Trust me, especially with last week's performance.
Andy Reid's
Andy Reid,
plan.
Matt Nagy. People want to put him on the pie chart pretty high on the list and all that. I get it. I think for me though, you said it with Jones. Your star and also highly paid players in 2 weeks have hurt you at times more than they helped you, shockingly. And that's not something we've typically seen. It's not something I think will continue, but it has happened. Travis Kelce, we went through it already. Of course, the interception this week. Last week, a mistake, at least he claims, on the route that led to a worthy injury. Last week there was a short-armed route he broke off too early. That maybe was a touchdown as well. Patrick Mahomes has had some moments that obviously are incredible. He's also had some way overthrown footballs, including one to Tyquan Thornton yesterday.
The worst throw of his career.
That was crazy. I know they ended up getting a touchdown to Thornton later on that drive, so I guess it was a wash in that regard. But time-wise, it wasn't a wash. And then, we were going through different moments of the first two games. But, Juwan Taylor, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, there's too many of your key pieces that you should not be worrying about that have made crucial mistakes that have directly led to points or iced a game, like last week on the 3rd and 14. And that can't happen. That's how you're 0-2, especially when you're 0-2 not against, you didn't play the Saints and the Giants, who they're going to play Sunday. You played the Chargers, who could be a real threat in the division. It looks like they are.
2-0 tonight.
They play the Raiders. The Eagles, who won the Super Bowl, who I still think will end up being one of the top 2-3 teams in the NFC easily. I know the Packers are the flavor of the month, and they look really, really good. But I think the Eagles are very likely to be one of the top 2 seeds still.
Yes.
They're going to win their division. All that is still true. So you can't have those players making mistakes anyway. You can get away with that maybe against other teams. You're definitely not getting away with that against teams like the Eagles and the Chargers, and that's why they sit 0-2 and in a spot they haven't been in a very long time, 2014 the last time.
The 49ers are kind of a good example of what you're pointing out. The 49ers have just as many injuries as the Chiefs, and maybe worse because they're without Brock Purdy. A very, very, very important player, turns out, because that's the starting quarterback. Now, he did play in week 1. He didn't just play this week against the New Orleans Saints. But they're 2-0, despite not having George Kittle, missing Purdy for a game, missing some of their wide receivers for either injury or suspension and a million other things. And they're 2-0. So, you can't use injuries forever as an excuse. And this week will not be an excuse. And so if it's why are they 0-2? If somebody just said, hey, Cody, why? I haven't watched the Chiefs yet this year. Why are the Chiefs 0-2? I would say, okay, one is part of it, like you said, the pie chart. Some of it is injury. Some of it is you're playing a difficult schedule and you don't have all your horses. But it's a much smaller portion than, I would say, shooting yourself in the foot mistakes in both games, where you were just allowing yourself to beat yourself. In the third quarter of that Chargers game, they got it back to 13-13. And this goes all the way forward. We haven't even mentioned the first 2 games? If Harrison Butker makes a kick, an extra point in a field goal in both of these games, they might win them too.
That's fair. Add him to the list of Jones and Kelce and these guys we're talking about.
And the guys that you pay the highest at their position.
Sure.
If you're the highest paid interior defensive lineman, you're the highest paid offensive tackle. If you're the highest paid of those guys and you're making mistakes, and the Chiefs have a few of them, they're all on that. It feels so self-inflicted still.
It is.
Versus the other team is just taking you out of your game at times. It feels so self-inflicted.
I think it is. Now, we're talking specific what's happened the last 2 weeks, but let's step back a little bit. I think if we're being honest, there's certainly decisions that have been made, whether it's this offseason and others, that also may have contributed to why they're up against it the way they're up against it, right? The running back thing, we've said it for a few weeks now, going back to around the draft, we said it, and that was we did not feel they addressed the running back room the way they should have in the offseason.
Yes.
And the offensive line run scheme short yards has been a problem for years. This is not unique to just Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco in the year 2025. However, the explosiveness, it was very evident. I thought this offseason, we were worried the day they re-signed Kareem Hunt. I remember Josh Briscoe walked in studio 5 minutes after it happened. And we were like, I don't like this. Does this means they're not going to really spend a high draft pick on a running back? And some people were trying to talk us off the ledge a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up waiting until the 7th round to take a running back. They didn't, in free agency, they spent money on Elijah Mitchell, who hasn't been active, by the way, in 2 games, correct? Was he active?
No.
He was 2 inactives to start. And he was this offseason signing. I'm not saying they spent a lot of money on either of those, Hunt or Mitchell. Nothing in the grand scheme of things. But the point being is they used a 7th round pick and then 2 veteran deals, essentially $1 million or $2 million. And then they obviously still had Isaiah Pacheco, and I'm totally fine with Pacheco being on this team.
They were banking on the wide receivers being the weapons.
I understand, and that's why we'll see in a couple weeks. Kareem Hunt looks like their best running back right now, which is, I still think, a major problem if that's the case. Mm-hmm. And so they did not address the running back room. That is a off-season issue, a months ago problem that has led also to some of this issue that they're experiencing in the first couple weeks of the season.
They had one play where I think it was a 3rd down, and they had Kareem Hunt in, and Mahomes threw a flat route to him where he needed to get set. He's not the running back to do, he's not
I got to say,
he's not the guy for that sort of a thing. And there was
you need the vision of Hunt and the speed of Pacheco, if that makes sense. and they don't have that back is not on the roster.
We're a couple of weeks away from saying, "Are you sure?" Just hand it to Rashard Smith. It doesn't have to be on third down if you don't like it in the protection end. There's no harm pretty soon here of just seeing if he can run the ball better. I did look it up earlier. Someone was asking me over on the YouTube chat. It's like, how many times did Tom Brady lose 3 games in a row? Twice. He lost 3. That's it. In his whole NFL career, that man played till he was 45.
Yeah. They did have a year they started 0-2, and I think they won the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Twice. Well, the last time the Chiefs
went
to the AFC
but
title.
you're talking about Brady right now. So
Brady lost 3 games in a row 2 times. His first time was in his 3rd NFL season in 2002. They lost 3 games in a row. They finished 9-7, and they missed the playoffs. The next time he lost 3 games in a row was 2022 with the Bucs. That's how long he went.
Yeah,
that's also what Mahomes is doing, though.
Yeah.
Mahomes has been in the league for 7 years, and this is the first time he's lost 3
turns
games in a
30
row.
tomorrow or Wednesday or something.
Yeah, and we got to take the Super Bowl from last year just to get to the 3 games in a row, not 3 regular season games in a row. A Super Bowl and 2 games against playoff teams. The one thing that's giving me some hope is those are 2 very good football teams. They're not playing good. They don't have all their weapons. They have a lot of things going wrong. But they have played what I think will be 2 teams that will end up combining for probably 25 wins. Maybe 24 wins, but somewhere in that range between those 2 teams. Chargers will probably win 11 or 12 games, and I think the Eagles will win 12 or 13 games. And if you start looking at 2 teams like that, you're not playing your best, and you actually had a chance to win both of those football games, at least I can see the correctable areas in which your team can improve. They're clearly in that, I'm not worried about them missing the playoffs yet. I don't feel like we have to entertain
way too early for that.
conversation
It
yet.
still is way too early for that.
Do I think the 1 seed's dead? Probably.
Yeah,
I didn't get into that.
I mean,
That's probably dead, but
didn't think they were getting the 1. I mean, this is not revisionist history. We
didn't think neither of us.
The Bills, to me, were always getting the number 1 seed this season, and some people may not like that, but based on their division, their schedule, I did not think that was in play this year anyway. The question is the division in jeopardy? And I think we'll learn a little bit even more after tonight. The one thing I'll still say about the division, no matter how ugly it is to be 0-2, you get the Chargers at home another time. You still have 2 against the Broncos, and you have 2 against the Raiders. So that's why I refuse to say, even if the Chargers get off to a 2-0 start, that the division's over. You have way too many games against divisional opponents to go.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, all but one.
That's why you should be rooting for, if you're a Chiefs fan, you should be rooting for the Raiders tonight.
So
you got both your games against the Raiders left. Well, it's less risk. You'd rather.
Oh, no, 100%.
You know, the belief in the Raiders' bigger picture is not nearly the belief in the Chargers or Broncos.
No, 100%.
And you still have both your games against the Raiders. So technically, if you're 2 games behind them, you can negate that completely by just beating them twice. You can't do that with the Chargers.
I'm curious. I know we're going to break a little bit early to get to Andy. Somebody had texted about the onside kick thing. Did they? To me,
pitiful effort.
I questioned. Well, the kick was awful, but
those are a waste of time.
But I don't understand why they. I don't know why they didn't. I think that gave off to me the vibe that Andy didn't trust the defense to get a stop.
They didn't have any timeouts left. I think that was
because if they kicked it deep and you get the stop, at least they're not in field goal range. Where the Eagles were in field goal range anyway. Like, let's say the Chiefs get the stop, the Eagles can still kick a field goal and make it. And they go up 6. Where if you get the stop, you get a good punt return. Who knows? All you need is a field goal instead of a touchdown.
There were a couple of weirdo ones. I probably would have gone for it on that 4th and 7 as well. With 7 minutes to go, that felt like he was maybe punting on the seat. It felt like he was just punting on the game there. Obviously, they were still in it, but it still kind of felt that way. So
I was fine with the 4th and 1 right out of the half. I had on their own 30 something. I had no issue with the decision, but yeah, it's the play call. You can be you can not like the play call of the execution. You can still like the decision. That was one of those where I actually loved the aggressiveness. I felt and he could tell like they needed the momentum coming out of half. It backfired. Led to free 3 points. I know the final score was 3 as well. You know, we can play that game all day long. I had no problem with the decision, but I didn't like the play call. You know, on the 3rd and 1, they passed, and they ran on it on the 4th and 1.
Yeah. Part of it is just like running it up the middle on 4th and 1 when Patrick Mahomes is, I don't know, maybe the best 3rd down running quarterback of a generation. Like he's
I would run a
great
passing play over what they tried to do sometimes. Like
I would too, because I'd want
Patrick
Mahomes to be able to get the yard.
Let him make the decision.
Yeah, I agree. If we're not going to run a QB sneak, no more running it up the middle with Isaiah Pacheco or Kareem Hunt. We got to give Patrick Mahomes the dual option of either or, not just one or the other. That's all. Although going back to the earlier part of the show, I would just prefer that they do a QB sneak like a normal team. And I know that it's like at some point you're like, but we know they're never going to do it. Why bring it up? Because it's insane. Andy Reid is one of the greatest coaches of all time, and he will not run the most successful, highest probability play in NFL history, and that makes no sense.
Gardner Minshew, QB sneak quarterback.
Yep.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it? All right, up next, Andy Reid is going to speak. We're going to carry that press conference exclusively on 96.5 The Fan.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
This October, the whole family can ride along for the wildest weekend in Kansas City. PBR Outlaw Days, October 3rd through the 5th at T-Mobile Center. Cheer on your Kansas City Outlaws as they battle the world's best on the dirt, under the lights. KansasCityOutlaws.com. Get your tickets now at PBR.com. Kansas City Outlaws, all grit and no quit.
Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now, we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu.
Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say.
That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Men, summertime is here. And that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Partner with the business that's ready to work for yours. The Home Depot. We supply the support your job needs with the level of service your business deserves. Streamline operations and get more done with the Home Depot. How pros get more done.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh, no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zicam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zicam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zicam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zicam.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Hey, September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, which is the second common form of cancer among men. There are many risk factors like age, race, and family history, but there are lifestyle and prevention tips to help minimize your risk of prostate cancer. Eat a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins. Stay active with regular exercise. Maintain a healthy weight. Limit high-fat and processed foods. Don't smoke. Guys, encourage men in your life to talk to their doctor about prostate health. Zero's Run Walk is coming to Kansas City. Help raise funds and awareness for prostate cancer. Early detection saves lives. Don't wait. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Hey, it's Trey Smith. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Number 1 on What's Trending, we are awaiting Andy Reid's Monday press conference. The only place you can hear it is right here on 96.5 The Fan. It'll be live here during Cody and Gold. You are not missing any of that. We'll let you know. We'll head out there as soon as he's good to go. But obviously the Chiefs coming off another loss. They're 0-2, 20-17 loss to the Eagles yesterday. Patrick Mahomes ended up being the leading rusher again for the Kansas City Chiefs. 7 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Travis Kelce led the team in receiving, 4 catches for 61. Obviously had the crucial mistake there on the drop that led to an interception. Stalled out that drive. Harrison Butker also missed a key field goal in the game. We, throughout the show today, talking about how this team is 0-2 and specifically what has to change for that to not be 0-3 or worse over the next week or so.
That's what they have to 0-3. I'll tell you right now.
The Giants on Sunday Night Football.
I will not be nearly as tempered with my comments if the Chiefs lose to the Giants on Sunday. Next up on What's Trending, most agree now. Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter reporting that Joe Burrow will get a second opinion today, but the most likely outcome for him is that he will need toe surgery to fix his grade 3 turf toe that would sideline him a minimum of 3 months. Do the math on that. That means he would miss the entire regular season with maybe a chance to come back for the postseason. But still a massive injury for Cincinnati, who started 2-0 for the first time under Zach Taylor and got off to a good start. But now Joe Burrow will be out for what looks like a majority of the season, unless this second opinion comes back glowingly, I guess.
Yeah, huge blow. One of the top quarterbacks in the NFL suffering. It's always, everybody says the same thing. It's like turf toe. It sounds like such a minor injury, but no, it can be multiple months.
Can't push off. It's
grade 3 strain for the quarterback. Tonight we get 2 Monday Night Football games. The early one, Bucs Texans in Houston. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff. The late game is an AFC West showdown between the Chargers and Raiders. This one in Vegas does not kick off till 9 o'clock. They switched up the way
I kind of liked when it was half and half, like 6 and 7:30.
I think it depends on your people's work schedule and everything. We were talking about with Dusty earlier today. I actually like the start like this. I hated when both games would be starting within 20 minutes of each other, and you're trying to watch both at once, kind of thing. I like the fact that one's at 6, one's at 9. Basically, the game.
I don't want to be until midnight watching football.
Yeah, well, if the game's not good, I won't stay up till midnight either. But Monday Night Football, normally if it was just one game, wouldn't get over until probably 10:30 or 11 anyway. So I like the fact that we get to do that. Now, I wish the Chargers-Raiders game was the first game, to your point, about the timing of it. But big game in the AFC West.
Next up on What's Trending, the Royals get a 10-3 win over the Phillies last night. Obviously, still 6 games out of the wild card spot. They played themselves out of that over the weekend and late last week. Let's give you an update on where they were. Noah Cameron was good in the start yesterday, and Jack Caglione got his first home run since returning to the big league roster in the game last night. The Royals did win 10-3, but they're still 6 games. I mean, They're not winning every game out, and even that wouldn't necessarily get them in the playoffs.
The Mariners aren't even in a wild card. The Mariners are leading the AL West now. The
Astros are the second,
Mariners, who they'll have a 3-game series with coming up, that's not. They can sweep them. It doesn't even guarantee they would gain 3 games. Because
starts up tomorrow.
They have the Astros now. It's unfortunately over for the Kansas City Royals. They did also have some organizational awards today handed out. This goes back to, remember, the minor league system and everything. So Carter Jensen was the player of the year in the organization. David Shields, the young pitcher who's still in Double-A, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't even think he made it.
They make it as A-ball still? He's like 19 years old.
I was like, he's like 18 or 19 years old.
He's pitched very well, but he's at still low levels of the system. Yeah,
he is 18 years old. He's not even 19 yet. He didn't even, he was an A-ball for a huge chunk of the year. He was excellent in A-ball for what it's worth. You want to talk about a kind of guy that a team will call on when you go ask about
He just turned 19 last week.
Oh, okay. I apologize. So 19. Spent his entire 18-year-old season in A-ball. He might be one of those, if the Royals don't move him, which I don't know that they would, I'm just saying, like, for the outfield or whatever they need.
No.
He is one of those, like, gonna make it to the big leagues at 20 David Price types at this rate. He'll probably start in Double-A next year at 19 years old. If that season goes really smooth, at 21 or whatever, he'll be, 2021, he'll be very seriously looking at, the majors.
We're going to hear from Andy Reid in just a couple of minutes. Don't forget, though, on Mondays, 30 Hop, our Monday lunch partner on Cody and Gold. Today, $5.99 classic burgers. Whether you're going out to Lee Summit or the location just down the street from us, their brand new location in Merriam, Grand Station. 30 Hop, it's your new go-to. An American bar and kitchen with those bold flavors, local taps, expansive patios, and an unbeatable happy hour. Stop in for lunch, stay for happy hour, 30hop.com. That's 30hop.com. Local beer, American Eats, big patio.
Coming up in a little bit, we'll do a little stock up, stock down. Doesn't have to be an individual team. We will look at some of the players in that as well. Hell, we go off of sports every once in a while, I won't say.
Yeah, it could be stock up for a lot of things.
Could go anywhere, Stock up, stock down could apply to a lot of different things. I think it'll be mostly NFL this time around. But yeah, the more, and someone asked earlier, we're going to take more calls later. We'll try to.
Yeah, 1 o'clock hour maybe.
913-586-7965. We don't often take calls on this show, but we understand that, like Golden mentioned, this is kind of a unusual territory for the Chiefs. Obviously starting 2-0 and not in a position that they're accustomed to or probably comfortable in, knowing that this is not a way that they have started at any point in their franchise's history. So I don't know, man. It's been a weird couple of weeks in the NFL because the first week Drake May looked bad, looked awesome yesterday. Then you've got different quarterbacks moving around. It just doesn't feel like the league's settled in yet. The only team I feel like I know is good is like the Packers. They seem to be the one team that I'm like, yeah, they've made 2 pretty good offenses look pretty bad or mediocre, and their offense is still scoring. It's like the one team that I feel like I got a handle on.
Well, because they're firing right now on all cylinders, right?
Yeah.
That's the key. If the Super Bowl was this weekend, the Packers would be favorites and people would be picking them to win. But as we all know, that's something that is such a long ways away. Injuries come into play and all of that. But yes, out of the starting gate, the Packers look like the best team in football. I would agree with that. And they still might be at the end. And that's a very real possibility. But we just know this is such a long game, I think, in Kansas City in particular. I'm not just saying that because the Chiefs are 0-2. We had this conversation in years in which they got off to like 4-2 starts, and people were freaking out about, they don't look like this team doesn't look like they can win a Super Bowl.
Last year's team was like 8-1, and people were worried about it.
2 years ago, they lost that game on Christmas Day to the Raiders. They looked like complete horse you-know-what, and they also went on to win the Super Bowl. So it's a long haul. There's plenty of issues with this team. If the Super Bowl was this weekend, they would be absolutely screwed. Well, they wouldn't be in the game for starters, but they would be absolutely screwed. But they have, for the next 3+ months, time to get this thing figured out. But at the same time, I think we acknowledge you do have to start winning some games at some point.
Yeah, we don't
and
get
it better start on Sunday against the Giants.
It has to. The Giants and the Jags games are absolute highest possible order must-win football games. And then I would argue that you have to win one of the two against the Lions or Ravens and just get to 3-3, get your damn players back, and then we can start evaluating this offense on its merits and what it's supposed to be going into an NFL season. Same problem applies. And then some of this is, I get mad at the players who are on the field, right? But at the same time, it's also I get mad at a guy like Rashee Rice for the same thing. Why'd you have to make such a boneheaded off the field decision? You're actively, and I told you this before, you cost this team games. If Rashee Rice is on the field yesterday, Gold, all things created the same. Did they win the football game? And the answer to that is probably yes. They do. If you just simply put Rashee Rice on the football field yesterday, they win a football game. Maybe not the first one. Well, yeah, but they got far enough behind in that one. Whatever. I won't give them that one.
I don't think game one, because that game the defense was atrocious. This game the defense was pretty darn good, and so this game I'm with you. I don't think I could say that would have swung the first game.
No, I agree with you there. Which means so you should be at least, and that's the whole thing. The whole thing about this game is, had they just found a way to scratch out, we come in here and you're like, phew, yeah, that's a tough Eagles team, but you got to win. Ooh, good for everybody, right? Oh, well, that they looked kind of weird and the offense still isn't right. They'll solve it eventually. But because they lose that game, now you're on, not death's door. It's 2 games into the season. But now you're in must-win territory against a Giants team for whatever reason. Russell Wilson decided to go off for yesterday, which, I guess means we're not getting Jackson Dart.
450 yards he had.
That game was wild, wasn't it? We can talk more Russ later in the week. That game was crazy, wasn't it, Gold?
Wandale Robinson on the deep pass as well. It just, that
I was 120 yards.
And Aubrey made that kick look way easier than it felt like it should have been. That was just a crazy
How
game.
many times over under, I don't know what the line should be set at of times Chris Collinsworth says moonball.
Over under 6.
6? That many times?
Yeah. All right, 4.5. Would you take the over?
I might take the over at 4.5.
I'm disgusted at taking the over.
That's the reason I ask, because I know it bothers you, Cody, because the fact that he played so well.
Just come up with a new piece of commentary.
And on 2 of those throws, they were legitimately
one was an interception, though, too.
Yes.
One was an interception. So it worked until it didn't work at the end.
Honestly, I do kind of wish Mahomes would put a little more hair on his deep passes. That one to Thornton, it looked like he was trying to throw
a line drive.
He thought he was trying to throw that through a brick wall. There was no one by him.
That was
Who you throwing that past?
Yeah, that was one of the worst throws you'll see for a deep ball in the league this entire season. Period.
It was genuinely, I've seen him make a couple of bad interceptions because players do. It might be the worst throw I've seen him make as a pro. Because, at least when you're making a contested throw or you miss a middle linebacker, there's some logic in it. Oops, I didn't see the underneath guy, and I threw it right to him.
He didn't get hit as he threw it either.
Things happen. He was standing in a clean pocket with a guy 50 yards down the field who was standing. The closest defender was no closer than 25 yards away from him. And he missed him, not by a little. He missed him by a good 15 yards. That ball, he couldn't rocket up his ass. He wouldn't have caught that thing. I was like, what happened on this throw? And go to your point, they did score a touchdown later on that drive. But
would
it
have
still
saved
had
about
an
40
impact.
seconds or whatever it was, yeah.
And seeing how they knelt it out after one first down, feels like those 40 seconds might have mattered. You might have had a chance to get the ball back down 3.
That's the only thing I will say.
Kick it changes everything.
Look, the offense is a complete mess. We all agree, and there's so many different things that go into it as we've tried to lay some of it out. I will say the Tyquan Thornton element. If there's one thing that besides just getting Worthy and Rice back, that could give you some hope if you're looking for it on a Monday after an 0-2 start, is that in both games, they've gotten Tyquan Thornton open, I think, 3 times, maybe 4 times down, considerably down the field.
Some were like he was open.
Yeah,
he was open on that
that's what I'm saying. So they've been able to scheme him open 3 times or so in 2 weeks. They obviously did not connect on the one you just got done talking about, but that's the only thing that it feels like once a game, and that's basically all you're asking from him, by the way. Once a game, one catch, 40-yard touchdown. That's basically what you're asking.
MVS was supposed to be, essentially.
Yeah, sure.
I do feel like they're going to have,
that's promised.
Once a week, he's going to have an opportunity down the field, pretty darn open, to get one to Thornton for a touchdown.
Maybe he'll dial it in eventually because he's been so bad in the deep passing game, but they also haven't been taking those shots for years. So some of it is like a reflex. I'm just he's not hitting those very well.
As we wait for Andy, somebody texted about this, and I mentioned this or texted it to you guys as well yesterday. Somebody mentioned.
You thought Mahomes should get benched?
No, I didn't say that. So, nobody on the text line said that either. They said it seems like there are far more tip passes lately. Is that an O-line issue or a pad issue? I texted you that yesterday. I
O-line issue.
There have been 4 or 5 tipped passes, and
they train you how to knock the defender's arms down. That's an offensive line issue. It's not Patrick Mahomes' fault.
Correct. I agree with that.
It only ends up being the quarterback's fault when you're short.
I think I've noticed it. We'll see how it carries on, against the Giants who have a good defensive front and the Ravens as well. But if I wonder how many more times it happens before it really becomes like a not alarming thing, but it's mentioned a little bit more because I think it's happened at least 4 or 5 times through these first 2 games. Like Tierra Tart, of course, he punched basically open hand punched Travis and should have been out of the game. But afterwards, he had 2 tip balls that were big for the Chargers in that first game, and then there were 2 yesterday. Or 1 yesterday, I can't remember, but there have been a few.
Typically, it's the offensive line fault. You're coached that when the ball's coming out like that you're supposed to get your defender's arms down. It does. I mean, it just happens sometimes, though. Like that's just part of.
I'm not saying I'm blaming anybody, but it's just been more noticeable because they're on plays. For all we know, it's a completion. It's a first down, or whatever.
It's noticeable because, as we said to start the show today, I mean, every single yard is just. I mean, it's like pulling teeth, man. It is just brutal. I mean, they are working their ass off just to get 5 yards, to get 3 yards. It is a grind for them to do it. So yeah, every play where you realize, oh, he would have been open for 10 yards, like, finally, and then it gets batted down. It's just so deflating because it's not often they've been able to get guys open in space in this offense in the last calendar year. And I think it was the Noah Gray would have been open for a first down. At least it looked like a first down.
He was very open. So
and he was crossing across. I mean, I'm guessing it's a 15, 20-yard game. And it gets batted down. And it's just like so deflating because it's not often they've gotten those opportunities here recently, going back to last year as well.
It is. I do genuinely miss like watching, because like this is what most NFL games look like, in fairness. Like there's a lot of bad quarterback play in the NFL, so a lot look like this. I genuinely miss watching the offense and feeling like I'm watching something different than the way the rest of the NFL watches. Where like at times it looks easy and free flowing and there's offense. Every drive that they score a touchdown on is 12 plays for 64 yards. I mean,
7 minutes,
and 7.5 or 9 minutes. Every single one looks the same. Because we pointed out the play earlier. The drive that they missed the 4th down conversion, they had 3 completions for 9.5 yards. They couldn't even they completed 3 passes and couldn't get 10 yards. 10? They couldn't get 10 yards, and one of them was because this is like a small throw that nobody will remember. One of the reasons they didn't get enough yardage is Mahomes threw behind Kareem Hunt, and he was slow getting out to the edge because he's slow, but because Mahomes didn't make a particularly good swing pass, Kareem Hunt only got a couple, and it should have been like 4 or 5, and instead it was only 2 or 3.
Was that the one where Hollywood had the mesh route that basically got Xavier hurt as well? Was that the same one?
No, I don't
know. There was one where Hollywood was a yard short.
And it was just like, everything feels so awkward and uncomfortable and slow.
It's a frustrating watch. It's a really, really frustrating watch with this offense, and maybe it gets better with Bryce and Worthy. That's the only thing you can hope for. It's like against the Giants. Against the Giants, I know the Giants aren't any good. Their front is good though. Like I expect it to be a game in which the defense is going to have to play great again, and fortunately, you're not playing as good of a team, so maybe it's good enough. I sure hope it is. But like, I don't think the offense is suddenly we're going to be like, wow, look what they did. Mahomes threw for 380, and it was. I don't think that's what's going to happen on Sunday either. I don't think that's really capable of happening until Rice and Worthy on the field. Now, if Worthy plays on Sunday, maybe that opens some things up, and we're having a different conversation. But this is the offense for at least another month, other than Worthy being back in it, if we actually think it's true that he's trending towards playing on Sunday. By the way, you have not missed Andy Reid's press conference. They're running a little late. We're told they're finishing a meeting, going a little late. Lots to discuss after an 0-2 start. They're having a meeting, so Andy Reid will still be live here exclusively on 96.5 The Fan anytime in the next, hopefully 5 or 10 minutes. We'll see.
Then let's get to a little stock up and stock down. We take a look at this every Monday to decide who, if, team, player, lifestyle thing, I don't care. Stock is up or stock is down. I'll start on the NFL side on one player. It's Indiana Jones. Danny Dimes be dead. Indiana Jones lives.
How about that nickname they already got for him there?
Oh, it's incredible. It's a great nickname. That's why you say it immediately. They have not punted yet this season.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. And I'll be honest, not a believer and was not a believer, as you well know, about the Colts this season. I said, that's a train wreck and it's going to look awful. And I don't have any idea why they're going with Daniel Jones. They should have just drafted a quarterback and figured out something else inside of there. And yet, they have one of the best offenses in football. The question is whether or not they're just the Saints from last year. But right now, stock way the hell up on Indiana Jones and the Colts, man. They got a real chance to win the AFC South.
You guys mentioned the Packers would be Super Bowl favorites in the NFC. The Colts might actually end up right now if you were to pick a team.
Yeah, look, Daniel Jones might be the Sam Darnold of 2025, as in he turns his career around, and good for him if that's the case. I do not believe the Colts will ever be considered a real contender in the AFC, but credit to them. They are 2-0, and Daniel Jones looks like a completely different quarterback. And that's good news for Shane Steichen. Very good news.
The arrow pointing up,
Stock up for me is the likelihood of a tush push ban. Stock up. We're going to talk more about it
now.
I think yesterday cemented it. It almost got banned last offseason. Now on a national slate with Tom Brady on the call, the defending champs playing each other, and it was highlighted quite a bit by multiple national personalities, including Adam Schefter, Dean Blandino, everybody looking at the two guards in particular for the Eagles very blatantly false starting, yet they can't call it because they can't see it. You can't tell where the heck anybody's at on the pile anyway. You can't tell if someone's recovered a fumble or not. It's a play that the Eagles should continue to run until they ban it, and they will, and it's a huge success, and I don't blame them for doing it. But if you are going to allow it to happen and you can't even call the rules properly, though, pre-snap, then what are we doing? So I think this play is done at the end of the year.
I will say, if we had some Jim Cramer Mad Money sounds for part of this gold, he'd be telling you to sell it. If you owned tush push stock, as in you were hoping this play was going to continue, you should sell the hell out of it. Because the ban is going. I just felt like the way national media was talking about it today, we're done. The tush push is going to die at the end of this year. They're not going to try to change it in the middle of the season, I don't think. But at the end of the year, during league meetings, they're absolutely going to bring it up again.
So for me, stock up. My stock up is Ted McMillan. He's off to a really nice start to his rookie season. He's 8th in the NFL in reception yards. He is tied for 20th with receptions. His opening game had 5 for 68. This most recent one against Arizona, 6 for 100. Hasn't got that touchdown yet, but even though the Panthers have seemed to have issues and Bryce Young hasn't looked that great, Ted McMillan is one of the bright spots, that first-round pick for the Panthers. I'm stocking up on Ted McMillan.
Xavier Legette stock down.
I do like him, McMillan. I will say, though, the Panthers as a team,
they stink.
My playoff pick is looking a little.
Are you already throwing in the towel?
No, I'm not yet. Right. I'm going to stick it out.
Okay.
We're all the way to the end.
Who were our slightly surprising playoff selections? Mine were the Patriots and the Cardinals.
I have the Jags. The Jags winning the South. They should have won this game this past weekend. I have the Jags. I still feel fine about the Jags winning the South, especially if the Texans lose tonight. I have Seattle winning the West. They're in it, but the Rams look really good, and they're 2-0, and Stafford's healthy for now.
Yeah,
I guess my surprise would be the Panthers, and then I had the Jags making it too, but the Jags seemingly in that division. I don't know if that's much of a surprise anyways.
Stock down.
There's a couple of different choices here. I'm going to go with a wide receiver. You'd mentioned Ted McMillan. He was a high top 10 style draft pick, expected to contribute right away. I kind of remember those conversations about Marvin Harrison Jr. He just looks like an average guy. That's why his stock is down. It's not that he looks like the kind of guy who won't have any impact in the NFL at all. It's that he just looks like he's Gabe Davis, not a number one wide receiver.
That's tough.
Destined for stardom. I understand he had 5 catches or whatever it was for 71 yards last week.
You're already done with him, huh?
But it's just he looks
had 2 for 27 against the Cardinals against the Panthers yesterday.
He looks so mediocre. He just looks like a 950-yard wide receiver. Again, not a bad one, but not the explosive guy we're all talking about. People were talking about playing a little bigger, so that he didn't have some of the same burst in some of the end zone stuff was the conversation out of the commentary. I'm not saying his stock's way down. I'm not saying, but it's down. It's not looking like the guy he was before.
Stock down the third down atmosphere at Arrowhead, as in the PA change. Stock down. I was sent this video from numerous people throughout the game that weren't a big fan of the old third down change. We know the PA announcer quit abruptly last week. We talked about it Friday. This is what the third down call sounds like now.
From the 19-yard line, it's
What?
What do we make of that, guys? What do we make of that? All right, we'll talk about more. Andy Reid is at the podium, unfortunately. Bad timing there. Of course, Andy Reid at the podium on a Monday is brought to you by Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
For you at this time, but the guys are trickling in now, so we'll get that to you later. As far as the game goes, obviously disappointed that we didn't come out on the right end of it. I thought the guys battled hard and aggressive. I thought in particular defense played very well offensively. We got to clean up some things there in the pass and the run game. and we'll work on that. And then special teams, I thought for the most part did a good job. Bucker would like to have the one back, but he came right back and had a nice kick there. So, but we obviously have to improve, and that's our focus. We've got to detail our work. It's my responsibility. I take responsibility for that, and for this game with the aggressiveness as far as the fourth downs go. I felt going into this game, because they stay aggressive on fourth down, that you've got to match that to some extent within reason. So, and a couple of those didn't work out, and I've got full confidence we'll get that cleaned up too, as far as the execution of it. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
We'll go ahead and kick it off with Pete Sweeney.
I'll have two questions, if that's okay. First, just to follow up on the fourth down, you kind of mentioned it was circumstantial for this game, but your tries are up, with the first two games. I was wondering if there was anything with Mike Frazier where maybe you have changed to more of an aggressive book, or again, just a small sample size, circumstantial.
Yeah, we've always been one of the top teams in the league to go for it on fourth down. So I've done that for years. So anyways, I'd tell you no.
Okay. And then the other one is just considering 0-2, sometimes, obviously it can get away from you a little bit with other teams that we've seen. I guess just how do you make sure that the room stays together as you approach week 3?
Yeah, I trust this group. I mean, this group's a good group, got good leadership, and they'll stay together. It's, and they'll work hard on cleaning things up. There's nobody more aware of it than the guys. So, and we'll make sure we get back to the drawing board. Like I said, this game here was more on the offensive side, and we've got to take care of that.
We'll go next to Nate Taylor.
Hey, Andy, I wanted to ask you about Josh Simmons in two questions. Just what did you see from game 1 to game 2 that you thought was positive? And the other one is, we noticed he came off the field for a couple snaps in the second quarter. Just wondering if you could explain what was going on in that moment.
Yeah, he came off. He was dehydrated a little bit, kind of. So they got him fixed up there with some liquids, and then as far as Josh's performance goes, he's getting better. He's had a couple nice challenges here the last couple of weeks. I have another one coming this week, but I felt like he was getting better. There's some things he's got to clean up, and some of the detail stuff within the run game and the pass game protection stuff. But I thought he did a nice job of stepping up in this game.
Let's go next to Jesse Newell.
Hey, Andy, you've taken full responsibility for this loss, and you guys aren't about making excuses. You've made that clear. But the broadcast did show a couple times where it appeared the Eagles moved quickly on the Tush push. I just wonder if the play is going to stay. Is there anything that you want to see change with the rule enforcement with that?
Yeah, that's I think it's you know the answer to it, Jesse. I mean, it's if guys are moving early, then you've got to call that. So they'll go back and look at that and see what their evaluation is of it. It could be different than mine. I felt like the guys were moving. That's why I was griping about it, and on the sideline there. So it's with the officials, sometimes people see things different. So we'll see where it goes. They'll have a chance to evaluate it, and I'll be curious to see what the response is.
Go ahead, Matt Derrick.
Hey, Coach. A couple of questions for you. One on the defensive side. When Mike Dana and Christian Fulton go down, you had Ashton Gelati and Noel Williams step in and play much bigger roles than obviously they were expecting going in. What did you think about both those guys and how they performed in those spots?
Yeah, I would tell you, I thought they did a solid job in there. I I liked the effort. I liked them hustling, getting themselves to the ball, getting off blocks up front. I thought Williams did a nice job on a couple of the coverages down the field. I thought they're very respectable.
And you mentioned in your open remarks about the execution, and you had said in your press conference yesterday that you called some plays that were available but maybe didn't get done the way you wanted to. Going forward, how much of that is just continuing to focus on execution versus how much of it is maybe changing some of the things that you do or the way you're going about them to put guys in those better positions?
Yeah. So Matt, there were things on there that I could have called. I was doing that in comparison too. So there were some things that we could have executed better. There's some things that I could have put our players in a better position on, and there's some calls that I could have used that I didn't use. And so I've got to make sure I take care of that part first, and then give the guys a better opportunity to do their job.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell.
Hey, Andy. I don't know if you saw this pregame, but sure you've seen it since. Just the players wearing the shirt that said "Free for Rashid." Just wondering your reaction to that, and if you felt that was something you needed to talk to those guys about.
Yeah, I've seen it since. I didn't see it then, but I would tell you, I know these guys love Rashid, and they feel for him sitting out here, and so I think it's no more than that, Matt. I'm sorry, Sam. I just think that those guys, they love the kid and want him to feel part of it in their own way. I really don't think it's anything more than that, Sam.
Let's go next to Todd Lebo.
Hey, Coach, when you guys are a little thin with the injuries and suspensions and things like that, the margins get a little maybe thinner on hitting those big plays. Is it even tougher at that point to both call the plays, execute the plays? I mean, how do you kind of put that part out and just focus on this is what we're trying to execute no matter who's on the field?
Yeah, Todd, I mean, we trust everybody that comes in there. So and that's the way we approach it. There are no excuses at all for that. And now you're asking me this right after the Rashid thing. So I get it. But that's not how we roll. I mean, it's not something that the guys trust the guys that are in. They play hard and aggressive and so on. So
one more left. Go ahead, Todd Palmer.
Hey, Andy, going back to Josh Simmons real quick. I know you probably rewatched the game film with a pretty critical eye, but how much did that effort he put forth on the interception to run down Makuba there stand out to you when you watched that film again?
Yeah, Todd, I'd say that was pretty impressive. I mean, that for a big guy to be able to run like that, first of all, is something. You got a chance to see his athletic ability and body control and all that. You'd hate to have it in that situation for it to show up, but that part was impressive, and just his want to get there, I thought was impressive. A lot of guys would, in this league would stand around and watch as opposed to chasing, and he chased along with the other guys. They just weren't quite fast enough to get there, but he did a nice job with that.
Thank you, Coach. That's all we have.
All right, so that was Andy Reid exclusively here on 96.5 The Fan. It's brought to you by Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others. We'll react to a few of the things he had to say coming up on the other side. We'll also talk more about the Tush push and what seems to be even more focus on it than ever. Next on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Chris Jones. You're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Synergen X and Low T Center are the original MVPs of testosterone replacement therapy. I know you've been feeling that tiredness. You're just like, I don't feel the same. And you always keep wondering what it is. I know you've been holding off. Don't wait any longer and join the men across the country who've been using Synergen X and Low T Center for over a decade. Since entering the field, they together are providing the most medically driven, results-focused, and winning approach to restoring the quality of patients' lives through hormone care. And look, you can get your individualized TRT treatment plan by simply getting checked out, and a test that could take as little as 20 minutes over there as well. Let me tell you why TRT and Synergen X and Low T Center have changed the significant lives of so many, and find out what they can do for you. Plus, you can decide whether you want at-home care or to meet in their area. And with their new mobile app, it's even easier to meet with the provider through video call inside the app. You can do follow-up visits, medication reminders, and even have video tutorials in case you need a reminder on how to take the medicine. So check them out and book your appointment now at trtmvp.com. That's trtmvp.com, and wishing you'd done it sooner.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
What we've been doing is pulling one of the people that sells a car every month and giving them a prize.
Give Me the VIN is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
David Ling sold your car last week.
I sold a 2020 RX 350.
Yep.
Yeah.
Open that check up and tell me what it says.
$25,000.
$25,000. Give me that. David Ling of Claremont, California is the latest winner in GiveMeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway. $25,000. What am I getting for being here? No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As we get older, we don't heal as quickly as we used to. And if you're suffering from joint pain, you probably think, hey, a good night's sleep will make it better. But then you wake up and the pain is still there. Stop letting that pain dictate your life and your day and start living again pain-free. It's time to see my friends at QC Kinetics. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints, not cover it up, actually help heal and restore. And the results are long-term lasting relief. QC Kinetics uses no surgery, no drugs, no long-term recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. So grab your MRIs and your x-rays and get in touch with my friends over at QC Kinetics. They'll make sure you're a good candidate and your first consultation is free. So call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. Appointments on Saturday with QC Kinetics.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $2.50 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We will get to the random question of the day in a little bit, but just a few things to react to from Andy Reid there. One on the Josh Simmons situation. I just was more curious than anything. I don't think it's a huge deal, but during the game, we all noticed that Josh Simmons was out for a couple plays. Jalen Moore came in, and like, of course, you know how this is. Like, everybody in the press box is like trying to talk and figure out, like, did anybody see like what's going on? Everybody's like staring, and so you're watching.
It's a huge
you're
deal.
watching the sideline, and like Rick Burkhalter was talking to him and all this, and we're like, is he in concussion protocol? No, he's not. He's not going to the medical tent. What's going on? Then he came back in the game. After the game, really didn't talk about it. And then you heard somebody, I think it was Nate Taylor actually, that asked the question, and Andy said he was dehydrated. I have no idea. I guess it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. All I know is I did not see.
You're not buying it.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So I didn't see a bottle of water handed or anything the whole time. He was just standing there talking to the entire time. If he needed fluids, they sure didn't get him an IV or a bottle of water is all I'm saying. But whatever. It doesn't matter.
Also, why wouldn't, when Josh Simmons was asked about it after the game, just say that?
Yeah, why wouldn't he say you need to talk to Andy about that?
Well, again, I don't think it matters. I'm just saying I'm not 100% buying it. But truly, it really doesn't matter at this point.
It's a low impact thing despite that.
Yeah.
So Andy talked about a couple of things. One, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow, I'll just say that another thing I disagree with him on is that or maybe he misunderstood the question. I took the question as, are you being more aggressive on fourth down, knowing that you're in trouble? And he's like, we're always one of the most aggressive on fourth down. And that's just historically not been accurate. They've been one of the more efficient teams on fourth down, but certainly not one of the most aggressive teams on fourth down. So that would be.
And this year they are through 2 weeks.
They are. They've had 6 fourth down attempts so far this season. The one that they gave up the field goal on being the only one so far they've missed. They're 5 of 6 so far in the season, but they have definitely been going for it more. There's no doubt about that. Look, there's some part of like when he's talking about like I take the blame and all this stuff, and I know that he just does that as part of like normal cover. Sure. It's not like he just sits in this room and be like, guys, you did nothing wrong. It's all me. Right. No, there's obviously execution issues because that's the truth. Even more than I can't know if Andy Reid's plan's not working until I watch the players actually attempt to execute what I'm watching. And to this point, the execution of the team has been off. Now, that is on Andy, too, in a way. The head coach has to take responsibility.
Right, but when you have a play like Travis Kelce, that's execution. That is on the players 1,000%.
Yeah, Andy called a play that had Patrick Mahomes throw a football to a guy in the end zone that hit his hands. And then it ended up as an interception. That one's not on him. Obviously, one of the bigger part of the conversation. And Andy's not trying to get fined. Probably likes his money. Keep his dollars.
Who doesn't?
Right? And so he'd like to keep his money rather than do it. But you can hear the same thing we hear, which is people see it different. But let's just be honest. The Philadelphia Eagles, and this is always like, caveat, for somebody who's going to play this from Philly radio later on their show, I do not blame the tush push for the Chiefs losing the football game. They lost that all on their own, doing lots of bad things. It is also factually correct that they call that play different than any other play in the NFL. They ignore offsides from both the offensive line and the defensive line. They ignore false starts, 3 of which they missed in that game. They don't allow for the play to see its way through, like Drew Tranquill getting a possible strip because they call for forward progress or whatever other things. It can only be a positive. It is refereed different than any play in the game. It is time to get rid of it because you can't ref it. It doesn't allow for it in the sport. It's too complicated to call correctly is what I hear because they don't ever call it. They don't call any penalty on that play ever, Gold. And they're guilty of it a lot.
I think when you have as many national voices, as we mentioned during Stock Up, Stock Down, as many national voices talking about the tush push and that being so blatant yesterday in the game, I do think this is the last year. I already kind of thought that because they were so close to banning it this past offseason anyway. And then now you have this happen on a Fox slate with Tom Brady on the call and all eyes were on it. The other games in the afternoon window stunk. So everybody was watching it play out, and everybody, even those that typically don't like the Chiefs, all admitted, like, no, the 2 guards were clearly moving. If you're going to allow the tush push, you at least have to officiate it properly. And if you can't officiate it properly, like you were saying, then you need to get rid of it. It's not as simple as like, well, if they just call it correctly, I'm cool with it. Well, they clearly can't call it correctly because it's been happening. What'll be interesting is this week, I think the Eagles play the Rams. So it's a big NFC game, right? I mean, those 2 teams are 2-0.
I think they get 2 false starts called.
And so, does the league make it a point? Do we see the spotlight now where there's going to be a big 4th and 1 tush push, and all of a sudden the left guard leans forward and starts to move forward, and do they call it? Or do they let it play out again? It'll be, if I'm Sean McVay, I love the fact that it just happened because now I feel like... I'm
going to say something to rep before the game even starts.
Yeah, and I'm sure every coach does, but now it's even more of an emphasis. So it's one to watch. I just think this is the last year of the tush push. So if you're the Eagles, keep on doing it. It's an amazing play. Its efficiency rate is insane.
And do it until they call it on you.
And they will. And they will. And I would keep doing it too if I were them. It's something that I think will get banned in the offseason.
Look, they're a great team. They've won 17 of their last 18 games. So, the Chiefs weren't going to be able to make mistakes and win that game. And the tush push is part of their success, but certainly not all their success. I don't think you win I think they're 17-1 in their last 18 games. I don't think you go on that kind of...
Yeah, they've won... What was it yesterday? Really they've won 18 of the last 19.
Okay, so
they've
18
won
and 19.
Something like 17-0, and they've won 17 straight. Or I don't know, something along
I don't
those
think it's
lines.
quite, but yeah,
Anyways.
18-1 in their last 19 games. I just looked it up. 18-1 in their last 19 games. The tush push is certainly not it. But I'll be honest. It was 12% of their plays yesterday. They ran it 7 times. And Gold, it's more back to just like do we want to watch and enjoy football? Because we make rules to watch and enjoy the sport sometimes too. And it's not an enjoyable thing. But it's like, it's not the reason that they lost. But let's also admit that they false started on the 1-yard line on a 3rd and goal. And if it's 3rd and goal from the 6 instead of the 1, that's a massive swing. It is a huge swing on the play. And it's a huge swing in the game. It's not the only reason. the pick, honestly,
Sure.
is the biggest
That
reason
was
why
the
they lost the
biggest
game
swing.
and a million other mistakes they made. But it's not that it was a non-factor or had no bearing or could have had a bearing on the game, depending on what they would have called there.
This
They could have
is
still gotten the touchdown.
Quick answer from McDuffie in the locker room after the game. He was asked just about the tush-push play as a whole.
A lot of pounds, you know. You see that O-line. You see the people pushing them. Really, yeah, it's just a tough play to stop. I don't know if there's really anything you can do about it.
Nothing you can really do about it. I will say the Chiefs have done a better job against it than other teams. Now, Chris Jones in his post-game spoke a little bit more about the tush-push and whether or not players were offsides on the Eagles.
Sometimes can't get them all the calls right. And just because we see it, sometimes the official is 15, 20 feet away. Sometimes he can miss those small things. And we think he jumped multiple times. So an official didn't see it, so it wasn't called. And, we just got to go play the next down.
The smart answer from Chris Jones, who also didn't probably want to get fined with any criticism publicly of the officiating.
You mentioned for like a second ago, Cody, how there are multiple mistakes. One of the things that I saw you had been critical of it as well. There was one moment early in the game where it was 3rd and 16, and Andy decided to do a little running halfback draw with Kareem Hunt, and it got 1 yard, and then Butker missed the field goal.
A lot of coaches do that though.
But the problem was it made it a 59-yard field goal. They'll also give you a 7-yard completion for free.
Yeah,
they'll just give that
cut
to you.
And it didn't make. I was really surprised that he just decided to bail and just run it, and then as a result, it bit him in the butt there as well because the Eagles get the ball in midfield, they go right down the field and they score. You miss the field goal on top of it. It felt like there were moments that just. Whether it's the Kelce thing, whether it's the tush-push false start, whether it's that moment, it felt like it just felt like there were 2, 3, 4 instances of things that you circle, and it's like, that completely shifted momentum or gave the Eagles a short field or whatever the case was.
Yeah, that'll cost you
the difference.
That'll cost you a football game when you're playing somebody like Philadelphia. When we've talked about this margin of error thing all day long.
You probably still win.
Yeah, gets quality opponents, playoff teams, Super Bowl champion in this case, the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't necessarily have to be perfect, but the margin of error, if your offense's margin of error maybe is almost being perfect at a certain extent because of the lack of big plays, you definitely then can't have special teams mistakes as well. And that was what was stunning too. I know Butker made the great field goal before halftime in week 1 and the rushed operation. That was very impressive, but missed an extra point in that game. And then he just missed a long field goal in this game to the right. And you have a 3-point margin of victory for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The last thing on the tush push and the other issue I have with it is it creates an unequal play. As in, they can push one side, but we can't push. I'm not allowed to push Chris Jones in the back, right? So you're creating a competitive imbalance on the play. One team gets to shove, the other team doesn't have to shove. They just have to use their natural leverage.
Yeah, we had Ross Tucker on the show. We asked about that. He claimed that they can. Remember that day?
I don't think they can.
That's what we thought.
Ross
Tucker, though, who obviously played in the league, he said, though, that, no, you can do that.
Well, and Bink has mentioned previously that
he was texting me.
You're able to pull. So if Kareem Hunt or if Patrick Mahomes, if they actually ran a QB sneak or he ran a play, let's just say off kilter, it's a scramble and he gets the ball down to the 3 yard line or something, he can't have a wide receiver pull him into the end zone. Correct? Is that?
Yeah. So
you're not allowed to pull.
Did Bink send you the same text?
I think so. Yes.
Bink is listening, and this is something that Bink has brought up a few times during the offseason conversation with the tush push, and basically you're not allowed to push players down the field, which the Chiefs do a lot. So if they were to ban the tush push we view it as the Jalen Hurts thing, would they still ban, if you're Trey Smith and you're not necessarily carrying a defender, but pushing a defender? I will say this. I swear I saw that in week 1, and I don't know if they enforced it. So going back to that, I don't know if they really enforced that. I feel like there were some linemen down the field still pushing 5+ yards further down, and I don't think they threw a flag. By the way, I don't know if I really want them to. I don't know, Bink. That's an interesting thing to watch going forward.
Random question.
Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, always YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. Very active over on the streams today, as you can imagine, as the Chiefs fold 0-2. Very simple. Football-related random question, not bird stuff. which I ended up randomly talking about with different people at Kramer's wedding on
You
Saturday.
asked about that
Bird
too?
stuff.
It came
the
up
exact same
naturally.
bird stuff.
Well, yeah, whether or not you turn into a bird and then duck anatomy, lots of stuff.
Hopefully you left the duck. Hopefully you left the duck corkscrew out of it.
But that did come up randomly. This is a sports related one. Fair or foul? Are we okay with the Chiefs players wearing the free Rasheed shirts?
I was surprised.
It makes no sense. Free him from what?
Yeah, so I was surprised because he's suspended for crimes that he pled guilty to. I would just say I'm surprised. Do I care? No, but I was like, okay.
Is he feeling down about not being with the team? Is that it?
I'm sure he wants to be with the team. But yeah, the wording was weird. Like if you just wore a shirt that had his photo on it, okay, fine. The fact that it said like free him as if he was like wrongfully suspended or something,
or wrongfully accused of the crime he committed.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't really care.
I would say I think it's in bad taste. Is it like a huge like red flag? Oh no, let's all have a sit down talk and like create. No, but it's in bad taste. He sped. He caused an accident. He pled guilty to the felonies. He's serving a suspension that he agreed to based on those crimes.
Right. Yeah.
Free him from what?
Yeah, just wear a Rasheed Rice shirt next time. If you want to support your guy.
Free
like Tyquan
Rasheed.
Thornton was wearing it still in postgame, too. In the locker room, his shirt was hanging up, and that was the shirt he was wearing in postgame as well. So it's fine. I mean, support your guy. Nobody's saying you can't support a teammate. It was just weird that the part that said free, if it just said number 4 and it had his face on it, I don't think anybody was at. That's why I got asked. I think it was Sam McDowell that asked the question from the Star during the postgame or during the presser we just heard.
If you were trying to simply just make sure Rasheed Rice feels good, is still a part of the team, because he doesn't get to start practicing until he's halfway through the suspension. So he can actually be back in the facility in about a week.
Okay.
And so once all that's done and he's back in the facility after the Giants game, he can kind of get used to it and feel like, and he's been not a part of the team for like a year because of the injury. Free Rasheed is insane tone deafness. It's like, what are you doing? Free him from what? The prison of his own making? It doesn't make any sense for the most part. I just think it's in like kind of bad taste. I'm not like greatly offended by its existence, but it is just like, what are you doing? My thing is always like, this is like when bad ideas happen at a corporate level. How? All these wide receivers and tight ends were sitting in a room together. How did one person be like, guys, hey, should we not? Just a quick thought. Anybody voice the like, maybe this isn't a great idea? Should they say free Rasheed? Should it just have a picture of his face? Could we do it in a couple of weeks? I don't know. It just felt so weird. It's very weird. Someone says it's probably because of Jalen Carter not getting suspended on the text line.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Someone says free him from consequences? ? I'm just asking if we cared or not. I think people would care less. I think Chiefs fans would care less if they won. I'll just put that out there.
I'm not saying it's not. I mean, we're talking about it here, but like, I don't even know how many Chiefs fans care. Like, actually, like I think it's more curiosity than I was shocked to see them wear it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really don't have much more to say about it. Like, we don't have to have like a complete like breakdown of the process of who selected the shirt. Like, I felt like people
like bad decision making.
Fine, you're right.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
It just. He's serving the suspension. Okay.
Drew goes to jail for a crime he committed, and we just pop up on the show wearing free Drew shirts, even though he did it. It doesn't make any sense.
Would you want us wearing those shirts, Drew?
I would appreciate the
See?
support. Sure.
That's what it is. They're supporting their guy. That's what it is. Boom. We've nailed it. We figured it out.
What was Meek Mill in jail for when they were all wearing those shirts?
I don't know. All I know is Robert Kraft to help him get out, right?
So. Was it drug possession?
No idea.
I don't remember.
It's count on you, Drew. I couldn't remember.
Him and didn't Jay-Z help with that as well?
Yeah, he did. But I mean, he's not. Rasheed Rice is just suspended from the NFL. A suspension he agreed to.
Correct.
I don't know. It's just
that is the random question of the day. Up next, we will talk more about the defense, which did look a lot better, but there's one big issue that still has happened for 2 weeks into this NFL season. And we ran out of time during stock down, but I do want to talk more about the change at Arrowhead itself yesterday.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Well, game-winning touchdowns, field goals, sacks, big-time plays, and big-time moments. That's what we expect from the teams that we love watching on a regular basis. And, hey, these players are performing at their very best when it matters most and have to if they want to end up winning in the end. You also should be more confident where it counts. I'm talking about Blue Chew because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. Be ready when she is. It is that good. You'll have flashbacks to your glory days. It'll have you feeling fantastic. Blue Chew is a small chew for a big difference. And this isn't just about performance. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. There's a good offer there for you. Get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ. Just cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Go to BlueChew.com. Use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
We're hiring residential garage door installers at Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Join the team trusted here since 1927. Apply today. Get a call today. No experience necessary. Paid training for motivated applicants to install garage doors. Hiring bonus up to $2,500. Mechanical, carpentry, or service industry experience is a plus. Good benefits include health, dental, vision, and pension. Earn as you learn to service the best garage door customers in KC. Apply today at overheaddoorkc.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Call with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. Holidays will be here before you know it, and M. Shamus is ready to get a jingle from you. From our all-you-can-eat hot and cold gourmet salad bar to our 12 cuts of beef, lamb, pork, or chicken. Go to mshamus.com to order our famous Brazilian glazed holiday hams in advance, or set a holiday party date for a table of 1 to a party of 100. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of dining.
It's football season and I can't wait for the games. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents per gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
It's game day, and nothing says Chiefs football like the aroma of a tailgate grill. Kick off your pregame party with a Kingdom Meat Bundle from Hy-Vee. Get 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 pork chops, 4 bratwurst, and 4 chuck patties for just $30. Plus, get a 10-cent per gallon fuel saver. Toss in some chips and dip, side dishes, and Chiefs-themed baked goods. Score the extra point with your favorite tailgate beverage from Hy-Vee Wine and Spirit. Just one stop for all your game day needs, only at Hy-Vee.
Chiefs checking for Community America is for real fans. Because real fans know tap to pay is the ultimate play. 0 fees mean you win with ease. And big savings at the team store means you can score more. And who doesn't love scoring more? Community America is investing in helping Chiefs fans step up their financial game. Get started today at communityamerica.com. Member owned, open to all. Community America Credit Union. Invested in you.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Listen to the Chiefs and Giants on Sunday night with pregame starting at 4, kickoff at 7:20 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling. Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour on a Monday. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you.
I should have made the random question, and it's not important. Does anyone like that stupid float commercial from the NFL? It's the worst.
That thing is in my wife and I have. It is in my head so much. So
I hate it.
The AI commercial that's on TV.
I hate it.
I'm dead serious. I heard it yesterday early on. We went to the store, and all of a sudden she just, come on, ride the float. They ride it.
I was like, hate it.
Oh my!
Cody's very upset
Cody,
about
this.
this.
Is the thing. I'm right there. I was right there with you until I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy into it, and I'm also going to be this way, and it's just going to be in my head, and I just have to deal with it.
AI
it's going to be this way all year long.
Trash.
It's just going to be that way. You just have to accept it. You're going to keep hearing it, and it's not going away.
Yeah, it's only week 2. That thing's going to be running for another 3 months.
Yeah, you just have to
the
accept
commercials during said time.
Or maybe they'll have a different version of it in about 6 weeks or so. But it'll be AI just for you again.
It's awful. Most of the AI stuff. Did you see the Fox's Aaron Rodgers AI thing? It was terrible
I
too.
did not. I wasn't watching.
It was like he was slowly morphing into the different versions or whatever. It's awful.
I'll
Terrible.
make this joke. The reason they need to make a new one is because they have Joe Burrow in it, and he's not going to be playing for the next couple of weeks.
That's true.
How are you doing?
Yeah,
how are you
Look, I mean,
up,
the Chiefs are 0-2, so people aren't feeling great in Kansas City. There's no way, even though your team's 2-0, you're feeling great either. With Joe Burrow likely out for the season.
So I actually, believe it or not, I don't feel good, but I don't feel bad, if that makes any sense. There are a lot of doomsday Bengals fans right now. Oh, the season's over, all this other crap.
You just lost your starter for a full season again. It doesn't really matter. He's not ending a Super Bowl.
The concept of everything is bad. Like they cannot win the Super Bowl with Jake Browning as their quarterback.
Which means,
however,
Drew, you should be rooting for them. I hate to say, you should hope that the Bengals stink.
I'm not that type of fan, and I never
for the season. You should hope that they get the 7th overall pick.
I am not that type of fan, and I never will be. To where I am rooting for my team to lose on purpose. I will never, ever be that individual.
That is a ridiculous statement.
Yes. Thank you, Jay.
Gold, if they lost Patrick Mahomes for the season, you'd be hoping they were the number 1 overall pick.
No.
Not by week 2, though. Not by week 2.
Crazy.
That would be a take. Like somebody on the station, maybe you, would have that take.
That's absolutely my stance.
Not in week 2. I think it would be in this exact hypothetical where their quarterback is out. It would have to be week 6 or 7. And at that point in time, but not after 2 weeks. I'm not, especially when Jake. I can't believe I'm defending Mr. Burrow, lover over here, Drew Nixon. But Jake Browning has played good enough in his career where I think they can win some games. Now I'm skeptical.
He's a top 25. He is not. He's better than a third of the league, I think, at the quarterback position.
I'd have to sit down and rank them out. But I will say, look, I didn't think the Bengals were making the playoffs with Joe Burrow, so we have a bet. We have an outstanding bet. I feel better about the bet, even though they're 2-0, that Jake Browning's the quarterback, because I'm not a believer in their defense because they've played Joe Flacco, and then they played Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, who should have beat. I don't know what the hell happened. They should have won that game.
Somebody on the text line is absolutely correct, Cody, and this is the reason why they shouldn't tank, because they get John Ross with the 9th overall pick.
They also got Jamar Chase with the 3rd overall pick.
I understand that, but that was an obvious selection. They would find a way. Because it is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Look, here's the truth. And I understand it's always hard to root for your team to lose. And I wouldn't root for it under normal circumstances when you have the guy that you want.
I can't.
Cincinnati, in the position they're in, with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and et cetera, it is either win the Super Bowl or it is a worthless season. It really is. Well, they cannot win the Super Bowl with Jake Browning. They can win the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow, who is now injured for most likely the season. So unless they think there's some miracle chance that Joe Burrow could be available for an AFC Championship game if they by some miracle
is that what you're banking on?
If that's the case, then fine, play to win. If not, you should be rooting for your team to have the 7th overall selection and get like a real cheap star to go win.
It's too early though to declare that. Though.
Exactly.
I think like
as a head coach, I understand.
If Cincinnati loses their next 3 games, then I'll be like, sure, yeah, it's over.
Yeah,
you're 2-3 and all that.
Figure it out.
But at 2-0, you can't just punt on the season like that. Not when you gave money to Chase and Higgins and Hendrickson, even if it's like a 1-year deal thing with Hendrickson. Like you can't do that yet. But I get what you're overall. I agree with that theory. It's just too early to do it. Later on in the year, if they're trending to where like they got to win 2 in a row to get in the final wild card spot with Jake Browning, at that point, yeah, just what are you doing? 9-8's not doing anybody any good.
You've actively hurt yourself at that.
Someone says, Drew, just put the Hooters outfit on now and end it, so you don't have to stress about it. Why worry about it for months? Just do it now and be done with it.
Big a risk as he is, are we?
Our bet's not involving the Chiefs, though.
The bet is not over with. I am still sticking to that. I'm not trying to get out of it. I never have.
Can Browning win 8 games for you? Basically, is the question.
I do want to ask though.
Can he win 8 games for you?
If Jake Browning does, let's say they make the playoffs. Can we make an adjustment where because it's Jake Browning that you guys each were at one day?
No. The bet is the bet. Injuries come into play. Life happens. Bleep happens.
No.
The Chiefs have injuries right now. It's part of the reason they're 0-2.
I'm not trying to get out of it. I'm just saying I wonder if you guys would be more. How much do you guys believe that the Bengals are out?
But then what if they trade for Kirk Cousins?
They actually should look at that.
I will say,
but
I don't really know. Yeah, like you are confident that Jake Browning is the 25th best quarterback. I think he's probably like the 35th best quarterback.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I think a team.
I don't know about that.
Or 32nd. I don't know.
I think he's probably like anywhere from 22nd to 26th.
And that game against Jacksonville, he was. That's the thing. To me,
he threw 3 picks.
That's
he's
why
not better than Trevor Lawrence or someone who would give him a job.
One, it's the way that It's the way that he played when Joe had the wrist injury, had the way that he looked, but also the fact that
his 10 career touchdowns, the way that he looked, he averaged like 1 touchdown a game. I'm going to say he's bad, but I'm going to sound like he's Joe Montana.
But the fact that he threw 3 picks in like the second half of that game and they still won gives me some reason to believe that they will find a way that if he can limit the mistakes, then I think they can make the playoffs. It is, though, again, the if.
Considering their offensive line is trash again, it would be, in a lot of ways, I would say damning to Joe Burrow that he has missed the playoffs 2 years in a row and that Jake Browning comes in with a bad offensive line and he makes it.
Oh, system quarterback is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad look for Joey B.
Drew doesn't like it. I want to say that.
I don't know what to say. I'm just saying that would be kind of a bad look for Joe Burrow.
Unfortunately,
if the first time they made the playoffs in 3 years was when Jake Browning did it.
As I've said before, you guys can knock Joe Burrow as much as you want to.
I said he's the third best quarterback, fourth best quarterback in the league.
Hang on. You can knock Joe Burrow as much as you want to, as much as the text line wants to. As I've said multiple times, I am a Bengals fan. They're 2-0. The Chiefs are 0-2.
He's ready to kick Burrow to the curb now.
No, I didn't say that.
Jake Browning's time.
Don't come at me with the recklessness of talking smack right now when the Bengals are 2-0.
They've won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. I can talk as much smack on the Cincinnati as I want. Chiefs could be 0-10 and the Bengals could be 10-0, and I could still talk trash. I got ultimate leverage in this situation.
You guys trashing Joe Burrow is not going to affect me because as long as the team is
You're
winning,
throwing him out like trash.
You're
ready to go.
I think they're going to stink with Jake Browning. But what I'm saying is, if Jake Browning made the playoffs and Joe Burrow couldn't, that doesn't look good on Joe Burrow.
I think Zach Taylor, and this is something that came up as well, Zach Taylor coaches the game differently. For whatever reason, it seems like it looks like the offense looked easier after Joe Burrow went out. The offense, it was really weird, and Zach Taylor was...
not a compliment.
No. It's not a knock against Joe Burrow as much as it is a knock against Zach Taylor, as he's not... For whatever reason,
you think he's not standing up to Joey? He won't tell him what he wants.
I think he's a little bit timid in how his approach is being handled, where I think he could help make it a little bit easier on Joe Burrow if he had, the guts to maybe be able to say, this is how I want the offense run, and this is how we're going to do it because you will be better, even better than he was last year, which was an MVP level type of quarterback.
Yeah.
He makes it easier for Jake Browning, and from there it's really good.
Joe Burrow.
I hate it.
That's the AI commercial. Joe Burrow has missed 17 games, probably about to add 14 more to
If he misses the season, this will be 3 out of 6 years that he has had a season-ending injury, which is very concerning.
But we'll see. Our bet is very much alive now. Very much alive. You're
sure.
2-0. Browning needs to go 8-7 probably down the stretch for you to win the bet.
500. Not bad.
So we'll see.
I think he can go 500 and they can make the playoffs. I will say this. It is going to be funny. It'll be even funnier, though, if they do make it with Jake Browning.
No question.
Way funnier.
Oh,
no doubt.
Great.
Way funnier.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's talk about the Chiefs defense a little bit because in week 1, Ladd McConkey was wide open. Keenan Allen's out there torching him. No pressure on Herbert. A couple things certainly were improved. I feel better about the defense today than I certainly did a week ago. The Chiefs were able to, for the most part, shut down that entire passing attack. Jalen Hurts threw for 101 yards, okay? They connected on one big play to
They only
Devonta
had like
Smith.
217 yards total as a team.
So I felt better about the secondary. A lot of the communication stuff was corrected, and that's a great sign. And that seemed like the most correctable thing. If there's still something, though, that throughout the season Spagnuolo is going to have to do, and that is manufacture pressure. Because, Cody, when they did not blitz, and that was pretty rare yesterday, they could not get pressure. So the Chiefs blitzed Jalen Hurts on 16 of his 25 dropbacks, 64% of them. That was the highest blitz rate under Spags since 2019. This is a guy that is known for blitzing, and this was still the highest percentage of blitz on dropbacks since he's been the DC, essentially, right? And then Hurts, because of that, had the quickest release time in his career. 2.11 seconds was his time to throw against the blitz, the quickest of his career. That's a big reason why I think the secondary looked good, right? Because they weren't asked to be on an island for very long, very rarely in the game. So they go hand in hand. How sustainable is that? I mean, they're going to blitz because they're going to have to, but other teams will make you pay for that more than the Eagles made them pay, and that's the scary thing here. But the defense was worlds better than what it was in week 1.
Especially like quarterbacks who've been around the league. I can't remember the person who sent out the stat. I wish I could remember now, but they've done 14 zero blitzes in 2 weeks. That means when you send like the house and you just go one-on-one coverage. And it's working to this point, but that's way higher than last year. So they're clearly all about like we're sending the house all the time for the first 2 games, which is kind of weird. The defense, I will say, was the single biggest positive coming out of that entire game. For as much as we are frustrated today that they're 0-2 and they got to try to figure out a way to win Sunday Night Football this Sunday against the Giants, the single best sign of the entire day was how they played on defense. Part of the reason, Gold, is they were motivated. They were flying. They were moving. They were physical. And yeah, they had to blitz to get pressure, but they got pressure. Yeah. And it affected Jalen Hurts. And it slowed down their offense effectively to a complete grind. The Chiefs' offense gift-wrapped them 6 points. And still, they only held them to 20. So, that was the best part of the entire game for the Chiefs by far. And if they're going to play defense anywhere close to the level they just played against Philadelphia, they will win some games even without their offensive weapons.
They're going to need it.
Because they got the Ravens and the Lions, who are currently 2 of the best offenses in football, coming up against them before Rashee Rice even gets back. The Amon-Ra just had 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Lions game. Malik Neighbors, who they're getting ready to see, just had 2 touchdowns and 170 yards or whatever the hell it was. And I just mentioned the Ravens, who dropped 40 on Cleveland, who's a pretty good defense in their own right. And so they're going to have to play that level of defense to beat some of those teams. So, like, I took that as a massive positive.
That's where, and all the negative things that certainly are existing around this team and the mistakes, and we've gone for the last 3.5 hours or so, we've gone through them, and throughout the week we'll talk more about concerns and big picture stuff with this team. I feel better about things right this second as a team than I did a week ago. And you're like, how's that possible? I understand they're 0-2. Like, no kidding. You don't want to be 0-2. We all acknowledge that. Like, they got to start winning some football games very quickly, starting Sunday, how about, against the Giants. But the defense showed after one dreadful performance, they are capable of playing at a certain level. Doesn't mean they're going to play like that every week, but they're capable of playing at a certain level. Whereas the offense, I'm just convinced this is the offense until Worthy and Rice are back in the picture. So this defense better start playing at that level, unfortunately, because if not, they're not going to be in a lot of games. The reason why they were in this game yesterday was because of the defense. Plain and simple. Yep. That's it. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, otherwise they would have lost easily.
Yes.
And look, and the other reason they've been in both games is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, again, I said the same thing after week one. When he's running that much, it is not a good sign for how things are going.
Yeah, leading rusher again.
He keeps them alive. It's not that. It's like, it's a good thing because they need it to win. It is not a good sign for how the game is going, if that makes sense. Obviously, it's good. It's effective. It's nice that he has that ability and can pull that rabbit out of his hat, lower his shoulder, run for first downs, do some stuff that absolutely puts a shot in the arm of the team. All of those things are good. It is, if you tell me that that's how the game is going for Mahomes, I know the game is not going great because it's requiring Patrick to do that rather than get it to his weapons. And so at some point, teams will, like, honestly, this is what's great. I hope teams start spying because at least that puts less people in coverage. Patrick Mahomes still in the end is not Lamar Jackson or some of these other quarterbacks that a spy is a regular thing that they operate under. And it's used as a way to stop a guy who runs for 1,000 yards in a year. That's not Patrick Mahomes typically. Although he's probably on pace for like 700 yards at this point on the season. How many rushing yards does he have? Is he like the 15th leading rusher in the NFL at this point?
He might be.
I'm just starting to wonder if he's like the 15th leading rusher in the NFL.
Yeah, he might be.
I'm just like, I mean, it's getting a little out of control.
He might have better numbers than... Yeah.
Might have as much as not Derrick Henry, who had 180 or whatever it was in that one game, but Devin got more than anybody on the Chiefs.
Or Bijan Robinson now, after that game he had last
Or
night.
Jonathan Taylor, who's also huge. Look, I'm not saying he's above the normal guys. I'm just making a joke that I think he's probably somewhere in the... Like, he would be the leading rusher on a number of teams, not just the Chiefs. That's all. He is 16th in the NFL right now. He is 1 yard behind Christian McCaffrey. That is not, that is, to be clear, not a good sign for the Chiefs offense.
He has more rushing yards than Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes.
This year.
And Jordan Mason Chase Brown and hell, Josh Allen or some of the other running quarterbacks.
He has more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson does.
It's not the formula. It's not the formula you want to see in your Kansas City whatsoever.
I can't believe he only has 1 yard less than Christian McCaffrey on the year. That's just stupid.
All right, let's get back to something. Andy Reid was running late, and then we got into our other segment, stock up, stock down, and I was joking. I said stock down was third down atmosphere and third down PA announcer. As we all know, last week the Chiefs' main PA guy, Dale Carter, quit, and he gave his reasoning. I'll just take him at his word. I have no idea if there's more to the story. He basically claimed that he was asked to make a change to his third down call. He did not want to do that. So then they said, all right, we'll have someone else do the third down calls, but you could do everything else. And he said, I'm out. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what happened.
Yeah,
according to him. According to him, right? According to him, that's what happened.
His side of the story.
I had some people send me video from the stands yesterday, and they said, hey, did you hear this? Now, peel back the curtain. If you sit in the press box, the windows are pretty thick. You can't hear the outside PA announcer. There's actually a separate press box announcer. So you can hear the crowd on loud plays, loud moments, but that's about it. You can hear the national anthem, but you can't hear it. So I did not hear the PA announcer, but this is audio and video from third down, the new third down call. What do you guys think?
From the 19-yard line, it's
What did you make of the change? Instead of it's third down, instead of that, it was. And 15.
Okay, so I'll say
kills me.
it's pretty clear that they wanted some more energy.
That was the whole thing. They wanted more excitement.
Why does he
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Everyone had a call and reaction. And I'm not saying it was perfect, but Gold, when he said the old PA, Dale Carter would say, and it's
third down.
Everyone does the thing. And it's third
It's just like
and 15. It just sounds.
It's forced, you mean?
Yeah.
Even more forced and awkward?
I wish he would just, could it be shorter? So it doesn't sound like somebody's saying goal.
Someone said
at a soccer match in Argentina. He's saying it like a completely different version of it.
The first time they heard it, people were just like, oh, this is different because you're used to the other. And then someone said it just got annoying as the game went on.
Ooh, didn't like it. I don't know. The yardage is unimportant. Can we leave that
That's
out
the
for
part
sure?
that kills me.
Can we just say
You don't need to say the
down.
yardage. People can look at the yardage and figure that out. You don't need to have the exciting call and then 15.
Because it's going to be way less exciting if it's third
and 1
and inches. We don't need it, no juice there. Man, he held that one.
And I apologize. I don't know this gentleman's name. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure he's doing what he was told to do and all that.
He's giving them what they want
exactly.
from a team perspective.
And my understanding is this was the PA announcer that was doing stuff for them already as well. They had two of them always. So he's in his spot. He's doing his job. Anytime there's change, people have to get used to it. I must say, I don't think this exact change will stick. I don't think this exact change will stick. I don't think people like it.
From the 816, those who saying it sounds like Michael Buffer, I want to make this very clear. I'm not allowed to say anything
we cannot.
Anywhere close or even somewhat resembling the phrase he says. I, every year, get an email from corporate and then forward it again from our boss saying, do not say anything like the thing he says, even changing the words or the cadence a little. That man's got good lawyers, is what I'm told.
Oh, we have a bold take from the 816.
We stay out of the way.
But yeah, maybe this is exactly what look, Dale Carter quit. If that's exactly what they wanted him to do, then I guess it makes sense why he said no. It depends. How bad do you want to keep your job or not, I guess is the answer.
From the 816, I think the new announcer is the reason they're losing. The reason they lost yesterday.
Yeah, I hope there's some feedback given. I hope there's some feedback given to them that fans. I will say the overwhelming amount of text that I got from just friends, that audio clip that I was sent from people. I haven't found many people that are a fan of the switch or at least the new style.
From the 816, they want to know, or from the 913 rather. I'm sorry, Cody. They want to know if you've sent in your audition tape.
We've talked about this.
I told you I don't have the right voice for it. I mean, I guess we're doing it the way he just did it. Maybe I'm closer, but not quite. And again, I don't know that it's clear that the team wanted some different,
more excitement, I guess,
energy with it. Tighten it up. That could be 4 seconds shorter. I don't know. It just part of it is this is like the college. There was he's been doing it for 20 years, so he's just kind of used to it. So I'll get used to the new guy's call. I know at some point,
I guess,
and I won't think about it the same way. Much like the Chiefs were the free Rashid. Do you want me to print you up a free Dale Carter shirt?
No, definitely not.
That would actually be hilarious. That would be so
Someone
good.
says, can you play it again? Sure, one more time.
From the 19-yard line, it's
Every time.
The and 15 might be what's getting me.
Yes.
Third and 15.
We're supposed to be so much more excited. It's 3rd and 15.
Yeah, they got to work on that. Game day crew, work on that, please. Just telling you, trying to help you out. We're telling you what the people are saying.
This is the whole problem. Drew's got a problem with people in suits. This is the whole problem with consultants.
Oh, consultants flat out suck.
Just coming in here and being like, you're not doing it right. Let's mix it up here a little bit. They got to
need a
so that
change.
they
No,
said
we
that they
don't.
did something for their job that day. They got to tinker with something.
Yeah, consultants are one of the greatest gigs you can possibly have. Yeah, you show up in a city. I don't care what consultant for anything, but you show up, you're not around them ever, you're there for one day, and you've got all the answers to fix everything without knowing anything about that market you're in or the stadium you're in or the workplace you're in, and they just come in and they want everything to change. And they also get to collect a check. And then when there's down the road when it doesn't work.
Works or doesn't work.
Yeah, All right.
I already consulted, so my job here is done. I feel about consultants the way you feel about people in suits, Drew. Too many.
It's just
Get in the way.
Just unnecessary. We need to make a change. No, we don't. The third down call is totally fine the way that it's been.
What's the third? You haven't been. What's the third down call in?
Oh Lord, I couldn't tell you.
You haven't been. Okay.
What is it at Wisconsin? They got a third down call for that?
It's similar to this one, I think, but they don't give the yardage. It's third. Like he holds
just
and then
leave
down.
the yardage out. Maybe that'll help.
You know what? Actually, that's a simple
next
solution.
home game against the Ravens. Just leave the yardage out, and maybe
third down.
maybe everybody will be on board.
Way better.
I agree. That would definitely be
somebody mentioned that they. I don't know this, of course. You
I'll
guys
take
would know
one
better than me,
consulting
but
check, please.
they got the that's good for a Chiefs, and everybody says first down. They took that. I mean, I think everybody has something that goes for a first down.
Yes.
Always.
The Patriots, I think, started that. K-State, actually, I believe, did a lot. That's good for a Wildcat first. I think they were one of the first in the area. But everybody stole it from somebody.
Someone just texted me and said, hold the third for how long they have to go. So if it's third and one, third down. If it's third and one. If it's 15, you can hold it as long as you want.
Epic.
That's a good text.
All right, up next, we'll get to what's trending, and we'll talk a little bit more about this backfield and the running back issues next.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is Creed Humphrey. Kansas City has the best fans in the world and the best bull riding team in the PBR. The Outlaws are looking to win it all this year, but they can't do it without you. I'm the chief of Outlaw Attitude, and I need you to pack the house. So buckle up and make some noise. The Outlaws are coming, and we know KC will be there with us. Come see Kansas City's next dynasty and join me at PBR Team Outlaw Days, October 3rd through 5th.
What matters to you matters to us. That's why Busey Bank takes the time to understand your goals and build solutions that fit your story. From everyday banking to long-term planning, our team is here to help you navigate every stage with care and expertise. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbor, your advisor, and your advocate. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Kids are back in school, so schedule your home improvement project today with Powell Exteriors KC. They offer easy financing, pay no interest until 2027, and a 10-year workmanship warranty. Learn more at powellexteriourskc.com. The power of KC is Powell Exteriors KC.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months.
0% event and a lifetime warranty. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Hi, I'm Sam Silvio with M. Shamus Brazilian Grill in the village of Burlington Creek. Holidays will be here before you know it, and M. Shamus is ready to get a jingle from you. From our all-you-can-eat hot and cold gourmet salad bar to our 12 cuts of beef, lamb, pork, or chicken. Go to mshamus.com to order our famous Brazilian glazed holiday hams in advance, or set a holiday party date for a table of 1 to a party of 100. Go to mshamus.com and discover the joy of dining.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, 1 member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
Here we go. Count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
This is incredible.
Watch your local NFL game live all season long.
And he's in for a touchdown.
Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
When you hear that a small Blizzard treat is just 85 cents in the DQ app, you might just feel like you're dreaming. 85-cent Blizzard treats. Trust us when we say you're not. But get to DQ quickly, because this dream is only a reality for so long. Hurry and get your small Blizzard treat for just 85 cents with a $1 purchase when you sign up for DQ Rewards. For a limited time at participating locations. Terms apply.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Stay comfortable year-round with fast, reliable service 24/7, even weekends and holidays. Already invested in repairs? Save up to $4,500 on a new HVAC system. Schedule today at AnthonyPHCE.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. What's trending?
Number one on What's Trending, of course, the Chiefs are now 0-2 after a 20-17 loss to the Eagles. They will get set for Sunday Night Football on the road against the Giants Sunday evening. Game right here on 96.5 The Fan. We'll find out later on the week specifically on Wednesday probably from Andy Reid again, whether or not Xavier Worthy is on track to perhaps be back for Sunday's game. Today he didn't have any injury update, as it usually happens on a Monday. Did mention overall just his thoughts a little bit on the tush push conversation we've all been having without him wanting to get fined or anything. He acknowledged, like, basically, you guys all saw the same thing. No, they were false starting.
Yeah, and I would like that
push.
call.
Yeah.
Which you can't blame him for, at least on that end. Next up on What's Trending, multiple injuries hitting the NFL in Week 2. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow is expected to need toe surgery that will sideline him a minimum of 3 months. Jaden Daniels got an MRI on his knee. He's got a knee sprain. He's going to be questionable for their game against the Raiders next week. The Bears' Jalen Johnson is expected to miss a huge chunk of the year with a massive groin injury. And if you're just looking for Chiefs-related injury that might impact them, Ravens Pro Bowl edge Kyle Van Noy is missing or potentially missing multiple games due to a hamstring injury that he suffered Sunday as well. Those are all according to multiple NFL insiders. But a lot of injuries. And the Carolina Panthers, who already stink, just lost 2 starting offensive linemen for this season. Good luck, Bryce Young. Hope you stay upright.
Not good for Dave Canales either.
No.
Tonight, 2 games, though, to wrap up week number 2. Monday Night Football doubleheader starts with Houston taking on the Bucs. That game in Houston, 6 o'clock kickoff. Then at 9 o'clock, a late one tonight. Big AFC West game already in week 2. Chargers go into Vegas to take on the Raiders. Raiders 1-0, Chargers 1-0. Somebody's 2-0, the only 2-0 team in the AFC West.
Yeah, because the Broncos blew it. It was correct call. Absolutely the correct call. They didn't get the call. It's kind of like that Cincinnati penalty. Broncos should be 2-0. They committed a penalty. They gave a team another chance to make a field goal. They blew it. They got to be.
How about the Colts? 2-0. Daniel Jones.
Yeah, unbelievable. They haven't punted still. The Broncos have a good defense, so it's weird. Next up on What's Trending, the Royals win 2 games in a row, but still 6 back of the wild card. Their season effectively finished. Cags did homer for the first time since returning from the injured list. Salvador Perez knocked in 5 as well. Royals had a fine weekend, I guess, against Philly. Too little, too late. They played themselves out of it during the Guardians series, unfortunate.
Yeah, Salvi 300 home runs for
and 1,000 RBI. Congrats
as far
to
as
him.
a catcher goes.
Yeah.
He's that's going to put you into Cooperstown, in my opinion, when his career's done.
Every other catcher to do that is in Cooperstown. Plus, he's loved. The writers will want to vote for him because he's loved.
Last said, What's Trending, local college football. KU is off. K-State fell to 1-3. They lose on Friday night to Arizona, 23-17. Things getting very ugly already in Manhattan. The Missouri Tigers, though, stay perfect on the year, a 52-10 win.
Dude, Hardy
against Louisiana.
good.
The transfer running back. Transfer running back looks really, really good. Missouri Tigers will host South Carolina this week. South Carolina not ranked after their loss. Also, their quarterback status up in the air.
Got hurt.
Yeah, that game is 7 o'clock, I believe, for 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock maybe Saturday in Columbia, Missouri.
If Sellers was healthy, I mean, that could have had game day potential.
Could have.
If Sellers was healthy, they probably
Instead, they're going to Florida and Miami or something.
It turns out Drew and
Florida stinks.
I don't know. There are so many other good games for them to choose. Florida hosting Miami. It didn't make any sense. But oh well. Here we are. The AP poll also, at some point, we might have to talk about that tomorrow. The AP poll.
You
get your college football.
I'll sit out that convo. You know my feelings. I
Holy
don't waste my time with the AP poll.
Oh, my gosh.
And you have an issue with it. I'm glad you're coming around.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Drew and
this is ridiculous.
Drew and I were in actual agreement before, and we didn't even know it. I was sitting around talking to people on Friday night. He reiterated the same thing that we both feel. Going into the season, I thought if Missouri won the South Carolina game, they were going to go to the college football playoff. Because I thought, okay, there'll be a 2-loss SEC team. They're going to be in the playoff. Now that win doesn't feel it wouldn't feel as big.
Yeah, I said on Instagram Live right after the game, I was like, it depends on how the South Carolina game goes, but I think if they beat South Carolina, they're going to be in the playoff. Of course, now with Sellers out, if Sellers is out, they better win the game if Sellers is out.
Yeah, it could have the opposite effect. It could really cost you at the end. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. I don't know. That's just a weird.
The AP
Missouri
poll, man.
Hardy looks ace. Prbula has been way better than I thought he was going to be.
He's very good.
And Hardy has been incredible. So, they have an offense.
Think about the 3 locals. I think before the season started, the consensus, I'm not saying there's not somebody out there that disagreed with this, but the consensus was that K-State had the best chance at the locals to get to the college football playoff.
Yes.
Obviously, everybody was wrong. And Missouri has the best chance to do that now.
Kansas has the second best chance.
Well, sure.
K-State
K-State, the question with K-State is how ugly does it get? They're 1-3. Do they salvage this thing and still find a way to sneak into a 6-win season? Or is it ugly, and they're a 4 or 5 win team? That's the job that Chris Kleiman has now to make sure this thing doesn't get really, really ugly. I think they're on a bye this coming weekend. I'm not sure if they are.
They might be.
I know they played
KU
Friday.
obviously was on.
Yeah, KU plays West Virginia this weekend. I know that.
Let's see.
And then K-State just played Arizona last Friday, so I can't remember.
They are off.
K-State is, yes, indeed.
UCF is their next game on the 27th.
Yeah, they needed to buy in the worst way.
They need a reset.
Yeah, I'd say so. Probably for the best.
Game to pick that Florida game over Texas, Utah.
Isn't that crazy?
I know that I haven't got some strong thoughts about Salt Lake City, but this feels like a good opportunity to go.
But game day is basically now, I feel like, we'll see if I'm proven wrong later.
SEC promotional.
SEC and Big Ten is all they're doing. They just said, screw it.
Because they could have done the MUKU and didn't.
Yeah, they did
like the
Oklahoma
same
and
way for
Michigan
Fox.
instead, which was SEC Big Ten. I think they're just doing that.
Is Fox going to the... I don't know where Fox
Big
is. I
Noon?
don't know where Big Noon's going. Of course, it's Big Noon, though. I don't think that game in Utah, that game wouldn't be at noon because it'd be...
That game has to involve a Big Ten school. That's the rule, basically, right? Because they're
even over Big 12.
Usually Big Noon only goes to Big Ten because they carry a Big Ten game at noon.
Right.
So it's got to be
How stupid is that turned into?
It's got to be a Big Ten game against now. It's
Actually,
conference
it says
play. Who is it?
Utah will see you next Saturday.
They decided to do it.
They're going to Texas Tech.
Okay,
Texas Tech versus
them.
Utah.
All right, good.
That is where Big Noon is
That might
actually
be
going.
the best game of the week.
So they're actually that must mean they're not any good Big Ten games next week.
I don't know. I'm just letting you know that
a lot of them are on NBC. A lot of the better.
Oh, is that the issue?
better Big Ten
Fox,
ones are
on Fox Sports website, it says Utah will see you next week.
So that means that the Big Ten or the Fox does not have one of the better Big Ten games. Illinois plays Indiana. Is that on NBC?
Actually, excuse
That's a
me.
pretty good game.
Game. I don't know what game day's doing. That's another one that they easily could have gone to. Illinois at Indiana.
Yeah, Florida stinks. Why are they going there? Just because Miami's good?
Maybe, but they missed their opportunity to go to Miami last week when they hosted USF. They felt like they were.
Drew, you're right. Illinois, Indiana, it's on NBC. That's why Fox said we're not going to. We're not doing Big Noon kickoff. It's not on their network. So they just said screw it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about the networks and all that other stuff.
It's kind of ruined the game day shows though, because now it really is just like whatever it's not just like what's the best rivalry that week or matchup. It's like
Big 12
it's
can't be
good
included,
matchup, but also we have the game. And I get it. Like I think we all understand why they operate that way. It just sucks because that's not how it always was. Sometimes they would go to game day somewhere and the game was on Fox. They didn't care.
Yeah, they wasted.
partners
I don't know why they didn't go to Arrow or to Columbia for that game because they could have used the Oklahoma slot this weekend. They play Auburn, who also is in the top 25. They wasted the opportunity by not going to the Border War game too.
Cody?
Yeah, another quarterback injury. Adam Schefter now reporting Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy has been ruled out for Sunday's game versus the Bengals due to an ankle injury.
That was quick.
So
wait, so who's
that was way too quick. He's probably going to miss multiple weeks. I don't know who their backup is there in Minnesota anymore.
Carson Wentz.
Oh,
that's right.
That's right.
It's Carson Wentz against
versus
Jake Browning.
What a disgusting.
That stinks of the most noon game of noon games of all time.
It was already scheduled to be that way.
Get that thing away from my television. Dear God.
I'm going to be locked in.
Carson. By the way, it helps Cincinnati's chance of getting to 3-0.
How do you feel
going against Carson
How do you
Wentz?
feel like you're a Justin Jefferson owner in this? Obviously, with JJ, it's kind of. Do you feel better?
Carson Wentz is
they'll probably get into Justin Jefferson more than JJ McCarthy.
They still have Jordan Addison out, right?
Do you want to walk back your?
All I got to say is
JJ McCarthy's already better than Sam Darnold take?
Okay, so we didn't get
Drew,
to.
Sam,
hang on.
I must say, Sam Darnold would never. Never.
Hang on. So we didn't get back to we didn't get to my stock down take because Andy had come up to the podium.
Yeah.
My stock down was going to be JJ McCarthy is already on my stock down. I am regretting my comments from last week.
We got into it because you said that Sam
already
Darnold,
JJ McCarthy is already better than him.
Already better after 1 week, really one quarter. That Sam Darnold never rallied the team the same way. Well, McCarthy's 2 starts in, he's played 1 good quarter, and now he's missing a start for an injury already.
If he's getting ruled out this quick, that makes me really question how long he's going to be.
Yeah,
out.
the fact it was that bad.
Yeah.
That's
Ruled
not
out
good.
on a Monday. They don't have to say already that he's ruled out for Sunday.
His
That goes quick.
O-line wasn't great last night, to say the least.
No. Falcons did a really
Is that more about their O-line or is it more about the Falcons' pass rush? Because the Bears, I can't remember what the Bears.
Falcons have looked good. They just had
were getting after
They
them
should
too,
have
I
won
guess.
week 1 against Tampa. I actually think the Falcons. I've been impressed with the Falcons. I actually think
James
they played
Pierce
pretty
Jr.
well.
looks really good.
The only thing with the Falcons last night, it's still at one point it was a 9-6 game. It's not like that offense was really humming.
That new kicker, at least, for them is
5 field goals. Did you see the funny post-game interview? So he was there with the NBC crew post-game, getting the game balls or whatever, and Bijan Robinson was there, and then Leonard Floyd was there, and so the kicker, Parker Romo, I think is his name. They're like, "Oh, have you had a chance to meet much of your teammates?" And he's like, "Oh, I know Bijan." And she's like, "Well, what about him?" And she points. It's Leonard Floyd, but he's like, I don't know. And Leonard Floyd shakes his head. I'm Leonard. Like introduces.
I'm Leonard Floyd.
He didn't know who Leonard Floyd was.
Unreal. That's so good.
Carson Wentz. Let's go, Carson Wentz on Sunday, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Carson Wentz.
I like
beat
to
the
knock
Bengals on
people
Sunday.
down to like normal records because the Chiefs are 0-2. I got to root for anybody that's 2-0 to lose.
Yeah. Go Vikings against
Except
Cincy.
for the Cardinals,
have.
because you'd like to be right about your Cardinals pick. I would
That's the
assume,
NFC.
right?
NFC and the AFC side is all I'm worried about. I don't care how many wins you get in the NFC
Colts,
side.
you need them to lose, and then the Bengals, you need them to lose. Okay.
Rooting for the Colts to lose.
But that JJ McCarthy, that did not age like a fine wine. I don't
No,
think.
that aged like spoiled milk. Very
I'd like the
quickly.
Dolphins to take down the Bills on Thursday Night Football, even though that's never,
Good
ever,
luck
ever,
with
ever,
you.
ever,
Good
ever,
luck
ever
with
going to
that.
happen.
Good luck. Is that the Thursday night game this week?
Yes, nasty.
That is.
Real quick, someone asked us on the text line, and we won't have the final answer till tomorrow. Someone said, "Hey guys, how did your Circa Millions picks go this week?"
Depends on how you view it.
How was that?
We were 0-5 last week. Remember, we were trying to tank so we could get the quarterly last place $25,000 prize. So we said, let's try to pick losers, which, by the way, is just as hard as picking the winners. So we still are waiting Houston tonight, but we are 3-1 on the week. We needed to be 0-4. We're 3-1, and if the Texans cover the 2.5, we'll end up with a 4-1 week. Initially, we wanted the Bucs to cover, but now we're back to saying, screw it, let's go 4-1. So, in other words, we don't know what the hell we're doing when we have 6 people trying to make a decision on a pick. That's the problem. Myself, Cody, Dusty, Rob, Bink, Speck. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many consensus opinions. Disastrous week for us. Disastrous week.
I would like to take 1 week off from making picks and see if it improves, because I'm like 1 for 5.
You want to see who the rat in the kitchen is?
Cody wants everybody just to submit one pick.
Yeah. How about you all just submit the pick you like the best and leave me the
But what if
hell
there's
out
duplicates?
of it for 1 week? Well, then somebody can choose the one they like the second best.
Okay.
Rank 1 and 2, but leave me out of it for 1 week, because I think you might be right about too many cooks. And the fact that in 10 games trying to select a winner, we are 1-8 with a chance of going 1-9.
Yeah, if
so
you
in
look
the
at that
way
way.
we're trying to pick.
Yeah.
Technically, if if Houston covers the 2.5, we'll be 5-5.
Yeah.
We'll be perfectly, we'll be 4-6.
Yes.
We'll be closer to like back to dead even after all this.
But-
But we
But
were trying
basically,
to
we
lose.
cost ourselves last place. We were too good this week. Sucks.
But this is the thing that's crazy is you guys are technically 1-9 on the picks
That's
that
what
you're
he's saying.
desiring
That's what
to
he's
make.
saying.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But the issue, as I said, that is true. The other issue, though, is I truly think, and this was always going to be the issue. It's fun, but
This is why when you're a
when-
team.
when you have 6 people, the picks we select are the consensus picks.
Right.
So naturally, you're going to have 3. If 3 people of the 6 think, Rams minus 5.5, meaning Tennessee minus 5.5. That pick's probably wrong. The more people that agree on a pick, the more likely it is actually going to be the wrong pick.
Because it'll be the
because
favorite
it's the public's.
public.
It's going to be the public's thought process, which usually stinks.
Which goes
so
to
this is
one
where
pick per
look,
person.
we didn't want to all spend $700 on an entry or $1,000 on an entry. I get it, but this is the downside to that. This is going to be a problem all year.
I volunteer as the tribute. I will take the week off. You all just choose the game you like the best. Pop it in the old.
Yeah.
And then whoever
chart.
gets it wrong is off for the next week. Then they're
Fine.
then
It's
they're
like
eliminated.
low
Is
man on the poll. If 4
you
people
know
win
what?
and 1 person loses,
Yeah.
I like that. That's fine. Look, thank
Just leave
goodness
me out of it.
it was a better weekend overall. Did you guys survive guillotine at least? It looks like.
I did.
Okay.
Actually,
Yes.
Amon Ross, St.
I'm
Brown,
safe.
I wouldn't even needed any other points from
I'm
anyone.
still
Most.
alive in the other guillotine. All 5 of my survivor entries are still around. So we had a better. It could have been a worse week. So I'm happy about that. My stake in the survivor entry in Circa is still alive. So that part was good. Otherwise, the Chiefs losing, not good. And our Circa Millions went the opposite way we wanted it to.
We are just, what's
it's an
sick is
interesting
like,
start to the season.
it's a bad strategy to say, no, just pick the games you want and they'll go the other way. But this time it would have worked. And so it's so frustrating.
So do you have the J.J. McCarthy, Drew bad take audio?
I
don't. We'll get it
go ahead
saved.
and,
I don't have it, but I'll make sure Drew doesn't delete it from the
It
system.
was for his
Yeah, I
all
won't delete
32
it, no.
last
Surely
Thursday, I think.
Yeah. It was.
Look,
Yes,
my
I'm
whole
going back
thing,
to find
my
it.
thing in that last week was
He
he looked
played
pretty
one
bad
good
for 3
quarter.
quarters. He looked really good for 1 quarter. So I'd like to see a little bit more. And then he looked really bad for 4 more quarters. So, like, of the 8 quarters he's played, he's looked good for 1 and bad for 7.
Yeah.
It's still very early in his career. There's no reason to, like, write J.J. McCarthy off.
No.
Although they might, like, this is one of those, I don't remember who you said this about at quarterback last year. In a weird way, for 1 week, they might actually be better off with Carson Wentz. For 1 week, with J.J. McCarthy with no experience, are we sure that they're not just better off for 1 week?
Hard to say.
He's probably started 80 games in his career, Carson
Okay,
Wentz.
so it's not an all. It wasn't all 32.
It would not surprise me if Carson Wentz looks really good for Carson Wentz, a vet with Justin Jefferson. Addison's got 1 more game suspension.
I didn't get
guess.
Addison this one.
Yeah, he isn't. So it's
Hawkinson, Jordan Mason's look good. Aaron Jones is reportedly not going to play, but Mason's look great.
Aaron Jones already ruled out.
Is he officially out? So there you go.
man.
So, yeah, they ruled
Lot
people
of
out
injuries,
early.
man.
A lot of people getting hit with the injury bug.
He hasn't started. He started 1 game in 2024 for the Chiefs and 1 game in 2023 for the Rams. He has made 94 career starts. Like, I mean, he can definitely do worse with a backup quarterback than. But Browning versus Wentz.
I mean, this week we had Mac Jones against Spencer Rattler.
That's worse. That's worse, right?
Which one?
Mac Jones and Spencer
Mac
Rattler
Jones
is
and Spencer-
is
that's
by-
worse
is
than
by
Wentz and
far
Browning.
worse. Because at least you get
Not by
Justin,
much, though.
Although they dueled it out. They both put up some numbers.
good game.
At least you get Jefferson, you get Jamar Chase, and
I'm just talking
at least
quarterback matchup. On paper, which one would you rather watch?
Oh, I'd rather watch
Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz or Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler.
Here's the beautiful thing.
I think it's still Wentz.
I have to watch
Browning.
either.
The Chiefs are Sunday Night Football, so it's a red zone day.
Mahomes and Wilson.
You're not stuck on that game whatsoever. You get Sunday Night Football during the. If you're wondering, for those of you that like Red Zone Channel, on Sunday the noon slate is Green Bay, Cleveland, Indy, Tennessee, Cincy, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, New England, L.A., Philly, the Rams, that is Philly, New York, the Jets, Tampa, Vegas, Commanders, Atlanta, Carolina, Houston, Jacksonville. The late window is Broncos, Chargers. Ooh, okay. I like that. Saints, Seahawks, Dallas, Chicago, Arizona, San Francisco.
So Dallas, Chicago is probably Big Fox in a game of two bad teams.
Monday Night Football next week is
That's 'cause of the
Detroit,
Cowboys.
Detroit, Baltimore. Monday Night Football. That's Detroit, Baltimore before
Let's
the
go
Chiefs play
Lions.
Baltimore.
Let's go Lions.
Before they face both those teams. Like a first-hand view of both of those squads. They got
Yes.
Detroit and Baltimore in the next few weeks.
Minnesota, a 2.5-point favorite against your Bengals, it looks like.
Raiders could be 3-0. They beat the Chargers tonight. Then they're going to get maybe Jaden Daniels back
All of
up.
a sudden. Yeah.
Because Jaden Daniels is questionable for next week. They beat the Chargers. They might get Jaden Daniels back up. Who is Jaden Daniels back up? Anybody know?
Sam Howell.
Still?
No. He's in Seattle. He's in Seattle.
like,
hold on. Who the heck is
that man
it?
never leaves
No,
Washington.
Sam Howell's in Seattle, isn't he? Unless he went. Oh wait, I think
it's
he
Marcus
was.
Mariota, isn't it? I think it's Mariota.
Now we're
okay.
Sam Howell's in Philly. Yeah,
I
Sam Howell's in
I
Philly.
think it's Mariota,
okay. All right.
which is fine.
random vet.
He is. Yeah, he is the backup quarterback. 31 years old. Okay. Someone's saying, was Drew's
31?
take worse than the Welch, Black Bortles,
Or
Blake Bortles take?
No, takes out even worse than
There's
that.
no way that
yeah,
take was
yeah.
worse
He
than
said
that.
Blake
Yeah.
Bortles is the next Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's an.
Yeah.
I'll
that's
never
the
have
as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
I'll never have a take that bad.
Blake
My whole
Bortles
life.
Blake Bortles was all time.